All right, captains, good evening. How are ya? Hopefully everyone is doing well. We are super excited tonight. As we have mentioned here the past week, we are going to have a very, very special guest here on the bridge, both not only here on the YouTube bridge, but also Twitch bridge. Having said that, captains on Twitch, you'll know what I'm going to say when I say this. No sound commands. But again, captains, I hope you are all doing well. Like I said, we have just been super excited for this follow-up interview with our good friend Bill Krause, who is, of course, the creator of the USS Titan A/now Enterprise G. Before we get into this interview, captains, do us a huge favor. If you're here on the YouTube bridge, hit that like button. And also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to YouTube bridge, as we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains where we can share our love and moments like these with you here. So again, just some house rules that we're going to go over here. We're going to do our very best to just really let the interview shine and, of course, focus on Mr. Bill, because there's a lot that has happened since the last time he was here. And we'll show you right now. I'm going to be off screen here quickly. But the last time he was here was 6 months ago. And that interview was 4 hours. I'm not sure how long we're going to be, but he's got free permission to ensure that we can chat about everything tonight. But the whole purpose of this is to celebrate, of course, the work that he has put in, which shows, of course, on screen in Star Trek Picard. So we'll start with saying hello to our captains here who are here, that we can. Oh my gosh, Security Pro, thank you so much for the rejoining here on the YouTube bridge. Thank you, sir, appreciate that. Let's give you one of these.
Admiral, if you will come with me.
Again, much appreciated. We'll turn this off here so you can see me. We got Mr. Elf, Chris Sarg. Admirals, how are you?
Admiral, if you will come with me.
We also have Mr. Elf with all the goats. CJ! Yes, let's go! Yes! Yes! Captains, you probably hear that always when we're making the videos. Yes! 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 Now you're going to see it. This is why I don't have a face cam on. Who else we got here? We have Eric. Captain, how are you?
Captain on the bridge.
Insert jump scare. No jump scares tonight. We also got Wright. How's it going?
Captain on the bridge.
Butch Brian. Hello, Captain.
Captain on the bridge.
Trizen, are you going to turn on slow mode? I'm going to just sort of leave chat where I've left off, but we'll get into that in a little bit more here. Anticipation, I know. And we have Emery Morris. Hello, Captain. How are you?
Captain on the bridge.
Gets popcorn. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Awesome screen. It is. It's a great. Yep. 100% agreed there. Aces and eights. Good evening. Hello. How are you, Cap?
Captain on the bridge.
Trek only. No, that was for another thing. Baz. Captain, how are you?
Captain on the bridge.
I'm not crying. You're crying, Rob, sir. Bro,
if you will come with me.
How are you? Styles, how's it? I'm good, Styles Cap. How are you doing?
Captain on the bridge.
And that was on YouTube. Let's see here. We have here on Pax. How are you?
Captain on the bridge.
I try to greet everyone as best as I can. We also have Becky.
Admiral, if you will come with me.
Joshua, Captain, welcome. How are you?
Captain on the bridge.
Rob Sayre. Don't know. We're there. CJ, thank you, sir, for the resub there. Thank you. I'm humbled. Thank you very much. And Rob. Boy, fired the Pacers. Bro, I love you, man. I love you. Thank you. Greg.
Admiral,
okay,
if
so
you will come with me.
Without further ado, before again we get Admiral Buck here again. So Bill Krause for the questions and such, I had asked them if we can ask questions. We can. I would say leave them till the last, until we get to that point. So we have a lot of things to go over. So we're going to be catching up a little bit here on seeing what's new and getting his reaction to Picard, and then going over some screenshots that he sent us and kind of seeing where the conversation goes. So again, Cabs, before we bring on Admiral Buck, Bill Krause, do us a favor, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button. It does help get this stream recommended out, but also when this turns into a VOD, to those captains who weren't able to join us, it will also recommend it on their feed. So we're going to see here in a quick second here on screen, you're going to see Mr. Bill Krause pop up. Bam! Sir, how are you?
I'm good. Let me just mute the other audio.
It's probably like doubling up there, isn't it?
It's doubling up. Sorry. No, wait. What?
There you go.
Hi.
Hopefully all is well. See, captains, again, we've had already an hour to talk here. We've been already at this. I'm like, you know what? We should save some for the.
We're done.
We're done. Okay, subscribe, ring that
Good night,
notification
folks.
bell, all that. Good night. Later. No. Again, first and foremost, I know I said this, Bill, already, but thank you again for coming back here. I know that you were already bugging me. I was kind of embarrassed. I'm like, I'm supposed to bug you first, but
No,
I was.
it's all right.
I was excited to have you back here, of course. So, again, to those who are new here, I know some of you know the content that we cover here is more Star Trek Online, but we've kind of dabbled in the Star Trek. But now, since sort of Star Trek Online is meshing with Star Trek, and of course we'll get into that later, this is part of the whole journey that I've been on in trying to get closer to Star Trek, and talking to one of its ship creators. That's just uniform changing. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I mean it has happened. What? But Bill, how are things? How have been things going since the last time we've talked?
Well, I grew this beard.
I see that. Yeah.
Since last time. I got tired of shaving, and I was just curious if it was going to come in, a color, and it didn't. So I'm officially an old man. But I'm allowed to be, I guess.
I mean, it's the new look. It's the new fetch. I'd say that it's if I could grow a beard, I would. I say that all the time. I can't. It comes in all weird and spiky, and it just doesn't look good. So I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie. When I didn't say anything, I'm like, oh, dang it.
Well, I certainly feel better than the last time we did this back in October, and I had at that time COVID. I can barely even talk, and
4 hours later.
So, I don't know if we can do 4 hours tonight.
No.
But it's up to you. But I'm not sure our viewers will stick around that long. I mean, we can talk forever, but
I know we
they
can.
won't.
No, and it's I think we have our we have both of our passports tonight, so we got the free pass, so we'll be here as much as we can be to again discuss. But so yeah, and what is sort of the new things that you've been working on since?
Still working on a lot of models.
Yeah.
You may have seen me posting some images of the Enterprise G that I'm building for Terry, for Metalis. He'd asked me a while ago to build him a Titan, and then of course that changed to now the Enterprise. And then of course Todd wants one too, Todd Stashwick. So they're back to back.
Wow.
As well as other projects for Wonderfest coming up next month. So.
Oh geez.
And then after that, there's a whole long line of commission work which wraps into next year. So.
Into next year.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow. Captains, I just found out, and I'll let kind of Bill talk about it though, like in my mind, Bill would wake up in the morning get his breakfast on and go
Yeah.
straight to his shop and work until the
Yeah.
midnight hour. But that's not the case, is it?
No, at 5 o'clock it's dinner time, and then TV time, and then you want to go to the shop, but
Someone,
I'm sitting down, and my wife's like, "Hey, we're watching TV," you know. But I work weekends too. If my wife has something to do, then now I'll go to the shop because
Right.
yeah, time is money. I got to be building stuff.
yeah,
This is just me, so I got to be cranking stuff out, as if there's like 50 of us
right.
or me.
No, I thought that was really cool.
It's all fun.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on that when we were talking earlier. I know it doesn't necessarily feel like work for you because it's your passion, and that's the one thing that I'll always take away from any time that we've talked is just your genuine love for doing this. It shows every tweet, the work that you put in. It just shows, and I'm so glad that it got picked up by CBS, the powers that be, to actually just even not only just one ship, two into Star Trek 3. Oh,
If you
yeah,
count season 2,
that's
and I did the Radiant, so
okay.
really designed
3.
3 ships.
There you go. So 3 ships. No, I always say that that's the type of passion and love that we want to share here, and it's yours is just not only considered a hobby, but like that this is your work. But it's kind of, I don't know how you want to, there's this 50-50 mix, but it's, I don't know if you consider it more work than play, or play than work, or hobby and play, you know what I mean?
Starship building is it's the love of my life, besides my wife and my kids. But who wouldn't want to be doing this as a living and for fun? So being able to do all of this at all is just icing on the cake. It's for me. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure other people would rather do other things, but this is what I like to do, and I thank God that I could still do it.
Right. No, and again, it's just so Star Trek Picard. I want to ask, now that the season's over, what's your initial reaction to it? Like when it came from like beginning to end, how would you rate the season, watching from beginning to end?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, everyone has commented how good the show is and how impactful it's been to Star Trek and fandom in general. Like, of course, coming from seasons 1 and 2, this is like, amazing. It's like a 10-hour movie, a feature film. And of course, when we went to the premiere, when they did this in February, they took the first 2 episodes and had them back to back as a film premiere in Hollywood, at the Chinese theater, and I flew out there for that. That was like, it's like a movie. You're actually working in a Star Trek movie. It didn't feel like a TV show, so that whole experience was just amazing. Being in Hollywood, in the Chinese theater, red carpet, Star Trek, people everywhere. You're in this gigantic theater watching your ship, your creation on the screen in front of the cast and crew. I mean, I'm in the same row as Patrick Stewart and Brent or Michelle Hurd, and all of the cast was in the same row as me. And the first thing you see, of course, is the animated logo of the Star Trek with the Titan. And I didn't realize that was even a thing. And people are cheering. And I look at my wife next to me, like, ah. And then of course you see the Titan on the screen. People are cheering. It's like, you don't get this at home when you're watching Star Trek on TV. People cheering, but in a theater full of hundreds of people all cheering, and this is pretty cool. So, and coming home and watching it on TV, the rest of the season, it wasn't as exciting as the premiere, but still, it's my wife and I watching. Hey, there's our ship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, oh my God, that must have been, I mean, you said it there earlier, you said an experience. I said the whole 10 hours was literally an experience, but I think yours definitely was like even 10 times, 100 times above that, and I mean, I don't know how you felt with just not only being there, but like you said, you were just feet away from like Patrick Stewart. Like, were you able to talk to them or shake their hands or?
No.
Oh.
And we got to the theater like an hour before the movie started or the premiere started, and walked right in. And the first people I see in the lobby is Doug Drexler, John Eves, all the guys, all the ship guys. And they're like, "Oh, Bill Krause, Bill Krause!" So we're shaking hands, like, "Oh my God, we're trying to converse." And the ushers are rushing us into the theater. Get in, sit down, get in, sit down. And we're like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." And so we're sitting in the theater for like 45 minutes before the movie starts. Like, why were we rushed to the theater? And then they show like the Will Wheaton Ready Room episode before the movie, and then the movie's over within 2 hours, and we're all rushed out of the theater, and we all split up and went different ways. And like I wanted to talk to people.
Right.
They're all gone.
Oh.
Because they had a black tie event across the street for all the cast and crew, and they all went there, and the rest of us were like, "Well, you want to get some pizza?"
Oh, goodness.
And then that was. But everyone had disappeared. It dispersed. So I didn't get to see Doug or John or any of the guys. Or I saw Sean Toringo and I saw Thomas Marone as we were leaving the theater. But it was just it was gone like that. And I want to go back and relive that just so I can slow things down. And we were walking out of theaters. I was right behind Michelle Hurd and Todd Stashwick and Terry Patalis were right behind me, and I wanted to talk to people, but we're all just being pushed out of the theater. And I got into the lobby, and I'm like, "There's Todd." I was going to say something, and we're shoved out into the street, and like, okay, that's it. So, but we were there and in person, and I can't complain. So it was, thrilling.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have handled that, but I mean, now I know you had at least had that little intro, like you said at the beginning there, with I think you said Doug, Bill, not Bill, Dave, Lass, right? And
I saw Dave. Actually, Dave would stay at the hotel with me.
Oh, there you go.
Same hotel. I saw him the next day. I saw him walking across the street. And I go, "That looks like Dave Blass." So I texted him, said, "Are you staying at the hotel over here?" And he goes, "Yeah." So we met for coffee the next morning, and chatted stuff, and that was great. But I didn't see him at the premiere. But of course, seeing Doug, I've never met Doug, and I've known him for 7-8 years.
Right. No, I think
cool.
it would have been such a sort of, I don't want to say nerd fest, but if you
it was definitely nerd fest.
Okay, there you go. He said it. It was a nerd fest. Like that's all I can think about. Like, I guess for me, like the questions that run through my mind is, I know. So now you let us know your experience there. How was it leading up to the actual time of getting to the theater? Meaning the correspondence between back and forth. How did that sort of take place? Was it from the beginning to the end of filming? Tell us about how that sort of all came about from your perspective.
Well, it's been almost 2 years now since it all started. This had been this time in 2021 when they were getting toward the end of season 2 of Picard, and contacted me to build those gold-plated models for the Stargazer Ready Room, the observation lounge. And of course, that rolled right into season 3 of Picard. And we talked about this in the other interview too, about how the Titan came to be. And that was kind of a little short development of it. We'll go back actually through the slides about how that gets developed. But it was just a whole summer. It was just, you never know day to day if I was going to get an email from somebody from production saying, "Hey, can you do this for us? You can do this for us, that for us." It was one time, and Dave asked if I can build a 4-foot model of the OV-65 for season 2, like that day. And like, well, okay. And then I was like scrambling and trying to figure out where can I get files for this thing, or plans or anything, photos to build this thing. And then an hour later, never mind, we got it covered. So I was like, okay. So, and I was already working on, the gold-plated stuff. So things just pop up left and right, and you never would know one day to the next what you were called to do for them. So you're always kind of, on the edge of your seat, checking your email very carefully. Oh, okay, we're good for now. But even the Titan, when that happened, it was like a Saturday night when Dave said, "Hey, can we see what your Shangri-La looks like with Picard air engines?" Saturday night, and I'm like, sure. So you don't say no. You don't wait till Monday morning. You go and you do it now. And I did it that night. Sent them that email of a photograph of the mocked up Titan. The next morning, they were good to go on that, not knowing what that meant. But so those things happen very quickly, and that's that's Hollywood. I think that's how it works. And of course, we were all in COVID and lockdown, so everything was being done remotely anyway. And of course, I live in Ohio, and everything's in LA, and that's how it worked.
So the whole correspondence in that time, of course, was just like there was never one time that you were asked to go down there.
No, I mean they didn't really need me to go there. And I was able to build everything in my shop and send it to them directly, and then they had it sent. The models were sent to a plating company where they were gold plated in LA. So it was all done there locally. And then the digital stuff, of course, was just done via email or via text. And even throughout that summer, I was getting, I became like a de facto Starship expert to the art department. And people working on the graphics and LCARs were constantly emailing me, "Hey, what is this ship?" They would get some kind of concept art or a storyboard. "Can you identify what this is?" And like I was constantly feeding them, well, that's this ship. Or they really asked me, what's the NCC number? What class is this ship? And then like, what are you asking me for? Don't you people who know what these things are? So eventually a production Bible got made of all the ships later on, listing all the ships and the scales and how they relate to each other, and assigning an NCC number and a class name to all of them. Like, whew. So I was constantly asking John or someone or Doug, what is this ship's number? I have no idea. They're asking me. I don't know. But it was fun to even be considered. Like, wow, they must think I know everything.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna let on that I didn't, of course, but
Yeah, and just fake it till you make it. Just fake it till you make it. That's
I'm on that. I'll get that for you. Yeah.
Google. Google must have been your friend there, helping you out there. And I know we did talk about the whole process and something there. One of the things that stood out to me was the sort of, when you said feedback, your feedback, there was none. It's like, oh, okay, but
for season 2,
for the Titan.
What I did the Radiant of the Titan. No, I think they knew what they wanted, and we're good to go with it. I was surprised there wasn't a lot of feedback on the Titan. I think because we had just that weekend to put it together, and because Terry really liked the Shangri-La and he was happy with what it was already. We just added, at least I added just the new engines on it, and then gave it to Doug, and then he took it the rest of the way. He actually had to build a whole digital Shangri-La because one didn't exist, and then he added, of course, the bridge module, and I would see updates here and then. I think he had a week to work on it because it had to be rushed into production, made into on-screen graphics and all the stuff for all the sets. But then when we got to the Intrepid, and we'll talk about that later when we go through that folder, that was another ship which Terry liked. Somebody working on a concept sketch of a TOS version of the Wasp that I had done the same time I did Shangri-La years ago. And he said, "I have an idea for this ship, for the show." I go, "Oh, okay. So can you make this look like a Picard era ship?" I go, "I know where we're going with this. I can do that." So it was just he and I, just texting back and forth, working. I would say, "How about this? How about that?" And we had like a month or two just to play with the ship. It's in like one episode, and it's more along the lines of where I thought a 25th century ship would have gone,
right?
And really pushed the Wasp as far as it would go, and then, built a digital model, and I gave that to Doug, and then he took it, the rest of the way. And so that was a fun process too. And of course, seeing them on the screen together, it's like that's pretty cool.
Nerdgasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was getting updates from the visual effects guys. I would see like animatics and some previs stuff of what they were working on. So I was, getting a taste of what was going to come back in like late 21 and then at 22. So just keeping this stuff secret, it's been like,
Yeah.
I gotta tell somebody, but you don't, you're hoping for when it does happen, you're like, see what it. So,
it's a lot of like hush hush stuff, right? In terms of,
you don't want to give away the secrets,
But you're bursting at the seams, going,
right? Like when I found out about the Enterprise, it was last year, and I knew that it was going to be renamed another name in the show according to the script,
right?
And I don't think anybody knew, even on the show, that it was going to be called Enterprise. Terry knew. But it wasn't until the visual effects guys got the note saying, in this one shot, there's a little text saying, change the name of the ship to Enterprise G. And they were like, we got to tell Bill. And then, of course, they tell me, and I'm like, what?
Wow.
Crazy.
I mean, just...
Looking for my wife, she's asleep on the couch. I'll tell you tomorrow.
I did.
But
you didn't wake her up? Good.
I did
good
wake
call.
her up.
Good call.
It was late at night, yeah.
That would have probably got you court-martialed if you woke her up for that.
Yeah. You woke me up for that?
While you're like freaking out, she's okay. Talk to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it was just last year you found out about the Enterprise. Wow. You're just waiting for the shot here too until like the last episode. You're just like,
I know it. Right.
So you knew the script. Did you know the script of the episodes, or just of like certain sequences?
Yes. No, I was getting scripts as they were being approved through the art department. So I knew what was going on, but I was like skipping ahead through the ship shots. Right. That's all I cared about. Yeah, dialogue. Yeah. Okay, Titan does this. That's cool.
Yeah.
Scroll. Intrepid. Oh yeah. Next shot. Script. Yeah. I'm just scrolling through pages of stuff. I'm not really reading. I'm looking for the ship shots. Okay, effect shots. So I'll get this later on when we watch the show. But I'm really interested in how they described. And of course, in the script, you have no idea what this looks like until you see the show. And whoa, this is beyond your expectations. So that was great to see it. I didn't want to spoil it too much, but you can't help but you got the script. You got to look at it.
Right. And then that wait period from when you actually read it to the screen, and I mean your reaction just right now said it all. Like how you don't. I don't think you were prepared to actually not prepared. That's not the right, but like to finally see it. Right. Realize you probably got to like take a step back and go, wow. Been reading that one line, ship comes across, ship goes up or down, then you see it's like, oh,
Right. And then with the music, of course, which, is not in the script, but you see it with the music, and it's like...
The music score of this season was amazing. It made every scene better. Like, I go back to what I said when I was reviewing these, it was such an experience. And I know you and I talked about this earlier, but I'm so glad that when it came to the Titan, they gave it its respect, meaning they treated it almost like a character on its own. Especially, I love the shots, and just like in TNG, when you have the transition shots between, one scene to another, you'd have just like a different angle of the ship. Like I was in awe how much screen time the Titan got. And there was maybe only, I think I caught 2 reuse screens, 2 reuse shots, and that was kind of just at the end there. But everything else was just, the warp effects, that comes with the whole package. But
right,
you see it, and did the space dock scene. Oh, okay. Tell me. Okay, so I'm gonna show everyone this tweet because this is I want to when. Where is that? So when this tweet came out, I'm gonna read it, but I'm gonna also show everyone here. Oops, we lost you. One sec. There you go. I can just cover myself up. So this tweet. Last week, my heart stopped beating for 359 frames as I watched her slide gracefully away from space dock. Thanks again, Terry Metalis, for everything. Like, tell me how you felt in detail when it came to that whole space dock sequence.
Yeah, well, I saw that, of course, in the theater, and that's when people were cheering as this thing's pulling out of space dock and the music's going, and it's like right out of Star Trek: The Motion Picture when they're leaving dry dock to head out to V'ger, and like the camera's passing underneath the ship, as it flies over, and I think it's like I said, it was 359 frames long because I had looked at the visual effects shot that I have, and that's what it was, and then I realized that number, 359. Well, 359, is that intentional? No, can't be. It's just a coincidence.
But yeah, that scene was amazing, and the music leading up to it, and the reaction from Riker and Picard, and then actually flying out of space dock. That.
I remember from the early trailer, there's the shot where Riker's saying "Hello, beautiful," and they don't cut away. People are like trying to figure out what is he looking at. It's got to be the D, right? And like. No, it's not.
No.
And I knew what it was, and because I saw the shot, that people are gonna be disappointed when he's saying "Hello, beautiful" to the Titan and not the D.
No, it was well deserved for that because, I mean, I think I mentioned this to you. I'm a TNG fan all the way through, but when they showed the Titan in that scene, from beginning to end, and moving forward. Again, it became a character, like a staple. You wanted to also see her in action. You wanted to see all her angles, and again, for you, knowing what was coming but still seeing it must have just two different experiences, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, when you read it in the script, and it just says Titan leaves space dock, and you like. In picture in your mind what that looks like, and it's a totally different thing than what they did, and thankfully, because the data did far better than my imagination could have created. So thankfully, that's thanks to Terry and all those guys for seeing it through. I mean, they had a vision, and then they really illustrated it well.
Oh, like I don't know how much more they could have done to make it even better. Like I tried to, when I was doing the reviews there on my channel of them, I was doing something stupid like giving an episode like a 9.99, and a lot of, I'll admit, a lot of the scoring that I did was a lot of nostalgia, but every episode felt like an experience, and that even just the ship shots, and that's why that whole formula of Trek just felt like it came back in this just well put together package, and the Titan was a bow on top because it was featured so well. Like in all even like the wallpapers, the screensavers, you'd see the picture of the crew. I use that as like my thumbnail, and then you see the picture of the Titan there. Like characters and then the ship. It just worked so well. The balance between the story, characters, and then the ship, because for me it's always been about the ships, and seeing the Titan and it being canonized again for you, I can only, again, just when seeing your reaction is just so, it's a joy, to see that, and plus again your work being recognized first and foremost, and again for me as a Star Trek Online captain, I said this before, I cannot wait to get my hands on that ship. And I already told this to him captains, but I'm naming my ship after you when I get that. Not sure how yet, but it's gonna
Well,
either be
I'm honored.
yeah, it's gonna either be USS Bill Krause or USS Krause or Admiral. I'm not sure yet, but a lot of us too, and every night we're streaming like when is that Neo when is it coming? When is it coming? They just said to us in a stream this week, I believe they said that they're already working on it. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, no, there's gonna be some beauty shots that we'll be sending your way on Twitter when we get that in hand, and we can't wait. So, so I'm going to also ask you about Picard a little bit more. When it, obviously your ships is what you were looking for, but was there a favorite moment of the Titan you saw on screen, like something that literally that you just cannot not get out of your mind?
I like the shot where Riker, of course, captures the asteroid with the tractor beam, and he flings it at the Shrike. I don't think I read that in the script. I don't know. Maybe I missed that, but I was surprised when that happened. Like, yeah, that's cool. And that was unexpected. Maybe I missed it in my quick thumb through the scripts, but I was very grateful that happened, because it wasn't just shooting a phase or a photon. It's actually using something else to damage an enemy. So it was pretty cool.
He yeeted an asteroid towards the Shrike. That
Right.
we were calling it the Riker maneuver number 2, and that's kind of what I was saying where to you earlier, that when you said it's not in Star Trek Online yet, they're gonna wait until they see everything the Titan does on screen and then try to incorporate that. I would lose my ever-loving mind if they included the Riker maneuver 2.0 of us being able to throw an asteroid.
Will they include like rocks as part of the armament of the Titan in the game? You got your photons, your phasers, and you got asteroids you could be throwing at opponents.
Believe it or not, it's actually what we call a rep power. It's a baryonic asteroid where you actually, when you activate it, there's a tractor beam with an asteroid at the end. You don't throw it, but it's there. So it's not a stretch for them to add a yeet move to throw a Titan, to throw an asteroid at another ship. I mean, seeing everything now that the Titan has done, I have a guess of what it might do, but if there's one thing I would love for them to add there is what your favorite moment, throwing of an asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was like you never see that. Well, I guess it's also revenge though, right? Because the Shrike threw a ship at.
Right.
And Riker's like, okay, well, I'll get mine here. I'll get my revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Let me throw a rock at you. And the way it did it too, like the whole sequence of when the Titan was riding that wave. Again, it flowed so well in the story where they were getting the reaction of the crew, getting how the ship was maneuvering, riding the wave, the opening of those vents, and then the way that when Riker said, okay, throw the rock or whatever, how he did it, it just blended so well. And that moment, that's kind of one of my favorite moments that I said to, because after the reviews, I would do like favorite moments. That definitely was it. Riker throwing a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude.
I don't even think it dented the Shrike. It's like this kind of bounced away, and
I called them on that.
A little bit more damage.
I called them on that. I'm like, not even like it hit the point part too of the Shrike. I'm like, not even a little break off. Come on, like not when they threw the Helios right at the Titan. Some it scraped some of the hull. So I'm like, and again, I was nitpicking with the score, but again, for the most part, things like going back to what I said earlier, things I don't think could have been done better. Especially when it came to your Titan. I feel even the interior shots, it felt very cohesive. When and then you have that ready room there with all the ship models there. Oh man, when I saw that, I think you tweeted that out there, or with the gold model there. Oh geez, is that what you're building, Terry? A gold one or just a normal one?
Just this fully lit Enterprise G.
Ooh, jealous.
So it's got all the paintwork and lighting, and it's a monster.
Oh,
It's heavy because it's got a brass skeleton throughout, and it's printed in a kind of a translucent resin, so it can be lit from within to light all the windows, and it's got a gazillion windows and little itty bitty points of light, which I'm just going to use a drill to kind of just poke through the paint to light up all the little things that are all over the thing. If you look at your illustration right here, which is a matte painting, but even the picture behind your head there, you can see you got the lights around the rim, but the whole bottom of the secondary hull and even the saucer, it's got tiny little lights all over it. And I do a lot of fiber optics throughout it, but I'm on like week number 6 of this thing, and I've just now got to the point where I can start painting it.
Right.
And then I got this all over again for Todd's. Like, I'm not going to be making a whole lot of these, I don't think. I mean, I've already built, I don't know how many Shangri-Las and Titans for the ready room, because Terry kept the original 2 that were in the room, and then he asked me to build him 2 others that we snuck into the archive.
Nice.
A little shell game.
Right. Yeah, here you go. Whoops. What do you have under your arm there? Nothing.
Is that screen used? Yeah. Bill made both of these, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, just that we'll edit this part out.
Yeah.
We'll edit this part out.
I didn't see it. But yeah, I was building a lot of Shangri-Las and Titans last year, or 21, and then also a lot of Stargazers. I was building a lot of those for people. So yeah, Dave wanted one, Johnny's wanted one. I forget who else wanted one, but yeah, there was a lot of that. And you can't only build the same model over and over again.
Right.
I'm just becoming a factory, and I mean, once is enough, I think.
I know we did talk about this the first time we were doing the interview, because we talked about the commission of work. Like, this work is commissioned, right? When you are asked to do this, and the range of the cost there. And I remember you showed I think it was on your Twitter. You showed like a very small version of the, oh dear Lord, it's escaping me. Your ship, the big one. The one that we used in our last as a background with the
Endurance.
The Endurance. You showed that, and I think the one that you printed was, I don't know, 6 inches, but it was the one with the pylons up. I was like, man,
right.
I want one of those. just a little one. If I could just put that, here when
they're on Shapeways. You can get them.
Oh, okay.
Both of them, yeah. The Endurance as well as the Calypso, which is the one with the upswept pylons. They're both on my Shapeways storefront, and you can get them printed in. I think they're only about 3 or 4 inches.
Done.
And you can get them printed in any material that you want, whether it's nylon or plastic or even metal, which I have. I think the Endurance is in metal, but
right,
they're pricey.
I mean, a lot of the things that we collect are pricey. As long as we don't tell, the actual boss himself, or sorry, she's here right now, so I just gotta. He's like, who are you talking to? Don't worry about it. So,
just starships.
Yeah, just starships. So what I wanted to do was show your files that you sent over, if that's okay with you, because
I'm fine with that.
We already talked about the. Why is that doing that? The Intrepid. So I want to showcase it here. Why does it keep making you go away for some reason? Don't know why it's doing that. So I'm gonna put this on screen here so that you can see. This wasn't doing this before. There you go. That's why.
There it is.
Because I'm a noob at this. So you sent me a bunch of files, and the first set of files I wanted to go over, and you just let me know when you want me to scroll next, is the Intrepid design. So walk us through your baby here.
Yeah, this is what I was working on originally when Terry spotted it. This was after we worked on the Titan, and I thought I was done working on Picard. It's like, I'm free and clear to just have fun and start messing around. I was thinking I should go back, and I was actually inspired by the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. I was sitting on my desk, or workshop bench, and looking at the saucer. I go, what if I made a Wasp, a Strange New Worlds version of the Wasp, taking that saucer, and so I started messing around with that saucer, and because I thought I was going to just build a very, very quick study model of this. So I started working in SketchUp and was doing this, which you see here. This is when Terry spotted it and thought, oh, can you make this into a Picard era thing? And I went, okay. And go to the next slide. And I think, actually, no, this engine here, are you on number 2?
Yeah. The second slide.
Okay. Yeah, that one, I think, was my first attempt. It was before Terry. Actually, Terry saw this version, not the one part of that. But I just designed this engine for something else, and I had been working off and on this concept for years, and just really haven't found a design or a cohesive plan for this thing that looks good from all angles. And I like the arrangement of the pylons being counterbalanced by this pod in the front. It's very dynamic, and I think it looks good. It should look good, and I've been just hammering different ideas into this thing and forget about it and put it away and then come back to it, put it away, put it back, and then got to this thing, and then Terry spotted it, and can you do this? Can you make this, Picard era? So I designed. First thing, of course, was swap out the engines. Go to the next slide. You'll see these really horrible looking things, which they were just to be placeholders. And getting rid of course, the dish. And you skip ahead, I think, to slide 4, 5. You get to slide 6, and you'll see the beginnings of what will soon be, or eventually be called, the Intrepid, with more of a 25th century designed engine. It's kind of boxy, but these are all very quickly done. You can see that the dates on some of these, you can't read the dates, but I'm looking at August 25th of 2021, and I started this 2 days before, so this is only 2 days of work just getting to this step. Really smoothing it out, making it look more organic, more futuristic than what I had before. And the next slide, I think on 7, you'll see sort of the contour. I've added this shape on the top of the hull to give it more of a more curved profile. Hadn't placed a bridge yet, but I was liking this shape. And of course, the Wasp itself is kind of like, of course, by the name Wasp, they're all like very insectoid looking. It's basically like an inverted scorpion. So this pod is basically a stinger, and it should look dangerous. I think that's why he wanted this design for the Intrepid, because it had to look menacing when it comes head to head with the Titan. And this is one angry looking ship, even without shooting anything. It looks like it's pissed off. So I think that's why he liked this, and why he chose it for the Intrepid. Next slide.
I actually do like the nacelles. I think it was one of the shots you sent me had this type of nacelle. It was a little more angled. I actually like these nacelles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with some more work, they could have, been more viable, but they were just to be lookalikes, like a Johnny style sort of inquiry class type of engine, just to get me through, the stage of the concept work. Of course, they were eventually going to just throw, the Sagan engines on it anyway, but I needed something there just to kind of give it the balance and proportion to work with it. And the dates, these are all still the same day. This is still August 25th, so I'm just cranking all day long on this thing. I thought I had more time on these, but maybe my time was more compressed than I thought. I think slide 11 is in color. And Terry, we were going back and forth with Terry. He was liking what I was doing, but the only thing he asked was to kind of change the angle of the engines rather than being perfectly upright to be almost parallel to the angle of the pylon. So that's why they were kind of canted out, which I think is on the inquiry as well. They have an angle, and the cells are in the same line as the pylon. And I wasn't crazy about it. I think it did look good from certain angles, at least with my engines. But that's the way it stayed throughout the rest of the concept work. I think I added a bridge eventually. And all during this process, it was called the Chaparral class, which is what I originally named the TOS version as I was working on it. And it stuck with this new ship throughout. Even after Doug got it, it was the Chaparral, but then it became the class name. Internally, I think, what slide are you on now?
Still on 11.
Yeah, you can skip through to 12, and then 13.
Oof.
14.
That looks good. I like that angle on 13. Oof. I don't know, for me, that works for some reason.
And you get to slide 15. These are just full renders of the rough model. These are basically study models. There's not a lot of details. There's no windows on it. You're looking for shape and proportion, and then it would be fully fleshed out later on. But and these would, I think, have been the final concept artwork that I would have created before giving it on to Doug. I don't think Dave knew that I was working on this. It was like Terry and and then I get an email from Dave saying, "Are you working on a ship with Terry?" I go, "Yeah." Can we have that model? Yeah. And then off it goes, and you never see it again. But I realize this just my place in the thing is just, I kind of get it. They like an idea and they take it and they go, and I'm just in the lobby, waiting for them to ask me to come to say something or look at something. But no, they don't, because they're up there in the conference room with the doors closed, and they're working on it.
Right.
It's their ship now. So I understand that, but I wish I was part of the room. Can I change? No, we're done. You're good. But I had more to do with, I think, the Intrepid than the Titan.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you
But
see it here, it's just, I love, like, this side profile of this, I love this shot on slide 16. I love this shot. It looks so sleek.
And the final version of this is not much different. I mean, yeah, Doug rounded it all off, and you'll get to that eventually. Skip through slides 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I gave everything that I had. Not sure we need to talk about every one of these slides, but
oh, this is the one you gave me.
I gave him. Yeah, these are rendered in After Effects, the kind of crude model. And I had some ideas with the windows being more like this vertical slits rather than this little, Morse code dots and dashes across, the hall. They didn't go with that, but they're close.
I'm surprised they didn't use those nacelles.
It's the same one. Slide 24 is the ortho that shows all the views, and the hull, the primary is not quite round. It's a little elongated. It's kind of again, a little bit of a spoon shape, but not quite. You only see that from the extreme top angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the other slides 25 and 27. These are call outs to Doug, so he knows what things are. And
I love that self-illuminated registry.
Yeah, at that time, I didn't know if they were going to do that or not on the Titan. Mm-hmm. There was some concept work early on when I saw from Doug that the Titan's registry was self-lit, and so I thought, oh, we're doing that. That's great. So I included that on the Intrepid, or this time the Chaparral, so that the main registry is lit, the fantail's lit, rather than spotlights.
Oh my goodness!
And you can see in slide 25 that it is not a aft deflector on the pod. Everyone will see is the back view of the Intrepid. Why does it have an aft deflector? It's not a deflector. It looks like it. I have to copy and paste this because I get this every time someone sees the back view of the Intrepid. Why is it a deflector?
Mr. Bill, on Twitch, we got raided here, so we're going to take a second here to recognize Pirate Scum Gaming JB. Thank you so much for the raid. Captains, welcome.
Captain on the bridge.
And also to those who came in.
Glory to you and your house.
We are just here doing our interview with Bill. Our second one. So welcome. Thank you so much. I hope your stream went well. I had mentioned we're just kind of going over here the work that he's done, and we're going over the Intrepid. So again, welcome. Hopefully your stream went well, and yeah, we're just continue on here.
I saw someone ask where the hangar is on the Chaparral. You'll see it. I think it's the next slide. I had indicated the hangar actually is above. It's on the top of the spine, the retractable door.
Oh, cool.
They didn't do that.
No.
Doug put it in the back, just below or just above the aft or the pod, which is fine too. That's it. I would have put it there too. Slide 28, I think, was the last thing I did. I did a top view and I gave it a texture. This is how I pictured it might look like with colors and Aztecing and all that, or pinstrapping. And not a lot of the Picard ships have any color. They're very monochromatic. They're all charcoal grays. Even the registry, which is outlined just black and white. The only red is just on the side pennant. There's no pinstriping anywhere. And I thought it should look a little classier, I think. But
like when these ships
you can see the hangar there.
Oh, right there. Yeah, that's right. Like when these ships come into Star Trek Online, like we're gonna go crazy over them, like 100%. And people, so one of the Martin there, shout out to you, Martin. Everyone was calling this there was something to the effect of on Twitter. I saw someone tweet, "Have you ever seen an angry ship?" And this is what people are referring to, the angry ship.
Angry ship.
Angry, yeah, because when Ro slammed her.
It just has an attitude.
Yes.
That's no problem.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought, what I loved here, one of the slides we'll get to, is how you came up with the curve on the top there. I absolutely love that, because you talked about this in the first interview that we had, and the inspiration that you take from, and I love how you incorporated it in this.
if you can make a note here on the top view, you can see where the warp governor, aka impulse crystal. If you back up to the previous top view, and it's in a rounded cove. It almost looks like a sand dune or snowdrift. It kind of builds up around it, but it fits around. Yeah, it's a round hole that fits into a round.
It's outlined
cushion.
for it.
When you see it on the finished one, it's the one thing that bugs me about this is Doug has cut a square hole and dropped a round peg into it. Like,
bruh.
why?
Do we have that here? So we're on slide.
I can't complain because it's what he did to it is just beautiful.
Yeah, I knew, to be
And
honest.
then you'll see slides 29, 30, 31. This is after Doug has opened up the file I've given him, and he's given it all the smoothing and contours, and it's like, wow, this looks great.
I love the fact that it says Picard there. That looks so cool. Like so official.
It's all official now.
It's in the history books.
It's before he's given it, the Sagan class engines, and he drops on the BC deck from the other ships.
Would you have preferred it if they're the
there.
Sagan nacelles or these ones? Well, mind you, it already has a Sagan nacelles, but between the two, what would have you preferred?
I like this right here. I think if they stopped right here, I would have. Great, I'm done.
Yeah, same.
That's cool.
That's why when you showed me this, I was losing it. I'm like, why didn't they go with this? Just like, oh my god. Because when not only does the Sagan have these nacelles, the Titan, now the Intrepid, also the shuttle that they used there had these nacelles. I was like, why? Were we running out of nacelles or?
That's just the design aesthetic for that.
Yeah.
For that era, I guess. So
And here you go. There's a Sagan.
Although you look at the new Excalibur's got the totally different engines. I think those are cool looking. But and then I think Doug went through about 10 different passes on the Intrepid. I think I got almost all of it. So I've given you a lot of the renders I was getting from Doug as he was working on it, because he had more time as well to work on this than the Titan, which I think I only got like two passes from him. We'll look at that, but and not a lot of changed on once he added the Sagan engines and the BC deck. He's going in and texturing, adding windows and details and phaser strips and transporter pads and all the little things that makes a ship, a starship, starting look real. And then you'll see in those slides, I think 38, it has the classic Intrepid registry number of, what is it? I think it's slide 38.
Right there.
NCC 1631D. Yeah, I think you just put it there for fun, but I got excited. I go, oh, yeah, yes, and it was short lived. I think the next pass it was gone, but
at least it's there. You have it. It's there.
It was there. Yeah.
It happened. It's not. It was a thing. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's here, and now it's on the bridge forever. On YouTube, it's here.
Mm-hmm. And then he had the warp governor was sticking way up, like in scale, probably about 50 feet. And I'm like,
bruh,
a little bit. See, he brought it back down. I didn't tell him about the hole of making it round, but I thought that'd be too much. And then one of the early versions too, he had the whole front was just bristling with phasers or photons right on the spine in the front, and then there was a couple that were like right on the very tip of the pod, which I thought looked a little weird because there were just these little things sticking out at the very top, and it kind of ruined the profile. It says, can you take the top one off and maybe put them on the sides of the the pod. I don't know why it needs 400 photons in the front, but you know, 8's fine.
Yeah, 8's fine. We don't need 400.
Yeah.
And there's that cutout you're talking about. I get it now. I never even, obviously I didn't realize that, but you saw this and I don't think we saw this angle really. But yeah, that doesn't, why, bro? Like, why put
And I
the
also
circle?
I think in slide 44, I had another suggestion was to put some vents, some side vents into the pod, and I just photoshopped that in slide 44. This is what I gave him. I would take a rendered picture and mock, send it back to him. I was like, what about this? And I don't think he did it as geometry. I think he just did it as a texture map eventually. I thought, because I love vents. I love things that are, look like they're sucking in or doing something. It just adds speed. Not that the pod needed some kind of recess. But
I like that. And yeah, I think he did put the torpedo launchers on the side there, the deflector.
yeah, right. I think that's what I mocked that up at that point. That's my Photoshop in slide 44.
Oh, here's a good question. Does the saucer separate?
Like on purpose, or
Yeah,
as
how the Galaxy class has the saucer separation.
people always ask that, and I'm assuming that most starships probably would. Looking for the separation lines, you can let your imagination run wild where that might be.
That might, yeah.
This one, the Intrepid, has got lifeboats just circling the hull. The Titan doesn't have any, but this one's got plenty of lifeboats, so they're prepared to go if they have to eject. Or I'll jump in the pod. That thing is inflatable. That'll...
Right, just the little lifeboat there.
Yeah.
I love this
But
shot.
yeah,
I love this shot. Slide 45. This made it even more official. Like, it just, then they're designed by Bill Krause.
I drew this for fan sets, the pin company, because they do ones of the ships, like a big enamel pin thing. They're big pins, and they were doing one of the Titan, and Doug had drawn a profile in this style. So I asked him if he had done one of the Intrepid. He hadn't. I went ahead and did this in Illustrator for the fan set people. So hopefully that's going to be some swag eventually.
Oh, we like this slag. I hope that when this actually, like, now we get the on-screen shots. When this eventually does come to Star Trek Online, I hope they include the concept nacelles. And for your Titan, I hope they include the Shangri-La nacelles. That would be so cool if they did that.
That'd be cool if they had the original TOS Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stavex command as a game thing. That'd be cool.
And the one thing I was surprised too, because I know when you had, I see this on Google, images under your ships, you already kind of had a shot like this with your Shangri-La and the Wasp. And it was kind of cool that they did that same thing too here. But I was surprised how big they went with the Intrepid on the scale. How did you feel about them upscaling it to that? Like, it's almost like bigger than the Titan.
It's a little bit longer, but that's just because it's longer. It's got a longer. What's the way it's configured? The engines are further back than on the Titan, but they're the same engine, so they scale them based on the engine. So the Intrepid is I think 18 meters longer. That's just because it's stretched out further than the Titan, which is more compact. But I had done that illustration that you're talking about with the Shangri-La after I saw what they had done just to kind of.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like them
It's not
before.
like they copied me. No, I copied them on that. Thought, oh, they did that. I should do this with my ships.
I mean, you could have just said you did it first, and then I would have believed you.
Yeah, I did that first.
Seeing this though was just, this was cool. Like, I know you had told me when you showed me the concept art this before this aired, but seeing it again, I can never do the same reaction you did, but I was just like, dang, that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then they throw a shuttle at it.
Yeah. They had teased the ship in the trailer because they weren't showing the Stinger. They were like showing it from, kind of a top view, kind of hiding, the deflector. And there was, I think, one picture that showed a little bit of blue. People were speculating, asking me, we think we know what that ship is. It's, it's this ship, it's that ship, it's the Sentinel, it's got to be this ship. And no one was picking the Wasp. No one had picked it. I go, really? This is, I think, kind of obvious. But
obvious to you.
But
because I think I gave my guesses the same too. Because I did saw the deflector. It was the shot from when Picard saw Ro slam the shuttle into the warp missile, and you saw that hint of like what you're saying, the deflector there. So I thought it was like your natural configuration or your old school configuration. I never thought it would be the Wasp. So I think someone did get it though, of the guesses.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a handful of ships that you could possibly guess, and I wasn't saying no. It's like, oh, it must be the Wasp.
No, these
are all screen grabs of that sequence where Ro does the kamikaze dive into the engine.
And when the ship was rising up, that's when the whole discussion or comments of, have you ever seen an angry ship? Because it didn't look happy when it was rising up there.
Mm-hmm. I'd be pissed off if I had my arm shut off.
I know. But it was cool, and this wasn't the only episode they used it in too. So that was the only thing that I just realized. Not just now, but I didn't really see, and I have to go back through the screenshots. But like the final battle, I didn't see the Intrepid there.
No, but I don't know if it survived or not. But you see it later on.
Yeah.
As the Trumbull. But I don't remember seeing it listed as one of the ships. Of course, if it's damaged, it's not going to be part of that, fleet formation.
Like Dave Blast did have a tweet showing that it was like the ship's there, but I didn't actually physically see it. But the last shot, of course, with the Enterprise G, I did see it there. They snuck it in the back there.
Yeah, they did. I'm thankful. Like that. There's both my ships, and then they just backed it up a little bit more. Oh, there it is. Get the Enterprise and the Intrepid in the same shot again.
And the photon, man, they love photon torpedoes, which makes sense.
Got a bunch of them.
But like, I never saw quantum torpedoes. I was hoping to see some quantum torpedoes be fired. But I guess they weren't really trying to destroy the Titan. But
it all seemed like it was in slow motion, didn't it? Like, there's rising up, and then there's the Titan back, and
like a wall
fires 2 photons. Pew, pew.
It's coming.
And then they warp away. It's like, oh, we just missed them. Oh, we're too slow.
Oh, shucks.
But darn.
was so this image 60, was this still part of them giving the pictures back to you, the shots to you, or was this?
No, these are shots. These are close-ups of the model that I just included in here. Some of the detail they were encrusting these ships with. You never see this detail.
No.
But you get the model, like there's hand railings and conduit and I don't know what, all over the ship, and like someone went through and really detailed the hell out of this, but I just thought it was a bit anachronistic that even at this level that it would need anything like that. But I don't know.
Someone had a little too much time.
Yeah.
Or they just loved they loved working on your ship and tried to make these close-up shots are insane.
Yeah.
Like, you never see them.
And these are on the Titan too. They're on the Titan there, and some of it actually got printed on the model that I'm Terry, and the guy who printed it for me is like, I can't believe this printed. And there's like little handrails up the side of the bridge, and little pipes and things like that everywhere.
The sidewalk, look at the conduit.
It's just encrusted with this stuff.
So
they paid some artists to go through and just,
go nuts. Here you go. Blank canvas.
Yeah.
Have at her.
Right.
Oh. Love this shot.
Where are you at now?
The 64. The evolution.
Yeah, I made this kind of showing how I got there. Going way back to, actually I started with the Wasp, which is in the middle there, and then kind of worked top and bottom from there, going backwards to build a TOS predecessor to the Wasp, which had an even earlier predecessor called the 971. And then there's the Chaparral concept, which then becomes the Intrepid. I had to go back and I changed the name of the TOS concept to Tornado. So I thought, I've given them the name Chaparral, which I thought they were going to use, and that didn't. And but I re-included that name back into my camp, part of ships of the Tornado class.
Mm-hmm. No, I love.
Even within internally, there was a lot of name changing going on with the Intrepid, where it was. Dave would say, "What are we calling the ship again?" I go, "I think it's the Chaparral, right?" They go, "Yeah, it's got the Chaparral. Yeah, we're good." And I get the Bible, the Starship Bible, and it's listed as the Dayton class. I go, "What happened to Chaparral?" We'll change that. And I remember seeing Dave at the premiere. So what do we call the Intrepid now? And then it's now named the Duderstadt class.
Yeah.
Named after the city in Germany, as well as a nod to Doug's wife. So I think that's cool. But it's just a class name. It changed 3 times.
From beginning, yeah.
To the beginning to the end.
No, I love this because when I know we went over the Tornado and the Wasp, and the Blackhawk really when we in our first interview there, and I thought it was such an interesting design, especially the TMP version, to have like just literally, I think those were photon launchers there, right, coming out of the
at the very bottom.
Yeah.
It was. I was kind of thought that would be a mission specific pod that they can switch out, swap out, if they wanted to. I mean, if you talk about saucer separation as a thing, then I'd see more of a mission pod that can be swapped out far more easily than swapping out a primary hull.
I like that.
But these are interceptors, so that they're specific. They're specifically designed to be fast in and out border patrol interdiction ships, policing the commerce lanes of Starfleet. So they're basically the Coast Guard cutters of Starfleet. That is, in my mind, that's what they are. Now in the Tornado and the Chaparral, that pod is more of a sensor package. In fact, the Chaparral is just covered in sensor vanes and long-range sensors and all sides of that pod, front and back. There's veins behind, just below the impulse engine on the Intrepid. So it's got eyes looking behind it, to the side, to the front. It's a stealthy looking ship. Stealthy looking outwardly looking ship.
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk. What time is it?
Oh wait, you're 2 hours ahead of me, aren't you? That's right.
No,
Like for me, it's 9:25.
I don't have COVID. And tonight's sponsored by
Oh,
Pellegrino.
is it? Okay, are we gonna show that first? What's we forgot to show that here. Tell you what, let's do this. I'll take out your image here. And today's sponsor is
Tonight's sponsor, Pellegrino. A lemonada. Ask her by name.
no commercial break here. There you go. That's
It's far better than that chloroseptic, I'll tell you that.
Oh, that was awesome. We had to plug that in there. That was awesome. Okay, let's go to just continue on here. I'm gonna put back because I don't know why it wasn't working there, so I'm gonna do that quickly. Hide you, then go back to your shots here. Oops. Oh, that was. Oops, I lost it. There you go. This one, this shot, I love. When you guys see this, I absolutely love this. And I saw that, Mike. This totally reminded me of what you said the first time when it came to like your impulse lights and engines and all that stuff, where you got the inspiration.
Yeah, a lot of automotive design inspires me, and just that roofline of a fastback is what inspired originally the Chaparral. Just that top line, you start up, you slope down, and you get that little Huffmeyer kink in the back. So, and those vents, you see them on Corvettes, Mustangs. Most muscle cars have vents. In this case, in the Mustang, it's behind the window. Mm-hmm. Why do you need vents there for? Because it looks cool.
Because it.
Yeah, you got the little cutout on the side, that of the door, the sculpting going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's in a lot of my ships. And
like I totally remember that when you said and then when I saw this, it was just like it just clicked. It made sense, and I absolutely just how you again your design of your ships is, you take the inspiration that you see in your everyday life. I love that.
And these might be Easter eggs. I mean, if someone asks, do you have Easter eggs? And
mm-hmm.
I've got automotive eggs and aircraft stuff too, thrown in there.
No, I love
if
that
I can
shot.
get away with it.
And then these are like the shots that I think we went over the first time, like the original concept. This was tornado shots.
Yeah. I went back after working on the Intrepid, and went back to the Tornado, and been still working on it, and just off and on. And these are just more renders of that. More recent. I think these are like just in the last few months. Just playing around with it, I'm still not happy with it, but I may never be. Just playing with it. I have to build one. Then I gotta get it done.
Right. I actually do like this. Like when we first saw this, I still like this. And again, I hope when your ship gets into Star Trek Online, they kind of take this into consideration and build the actual skins for, a TOS and a TMP version of the Duderstat.
That'd be cool.
Oh, it totally would be. And even the Titan, like to have another TMP ship there in Star Trek Online would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I've included some photos here, the slides 72 through 76 of the Wasp as I built it back in 2015. I built this the same time as I built the Shangri-La.
Oof.
And we'll get eventually to its original inspiration.
I love that.
Toward the end, but it was actually the first ship that I had composited for the Ships of the Line calendar in 2018. I think slide 77 shows that composition when Doug first asked if I would contribute to the calendar, and I thought, cool, yeah, I got stuff.
Sure.
You like the Wasp? You like Shangri-La? and that was my first
Oof.
composition for the calendar.
Viewer ahead. I love this. Love that shot. Especially when you put the... Ooh! And then there's like some D7s there in the background. Let's go!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the calendar shot.
Yeah, that just looks so good.
And the next one is the one we talked about that I mocked up just recently. The look like the encounter with Intrepid and Titan.
You did this before them. You did this
first. I did this recently.
Trying to help.
Yeah. I did it first. Just this past year, I just did it first.
There you go. Oh, we got another raid here. Grabog, sir, hello, how are you? Thank you so much for the raid. And those who came in, welcome. We are just doing our interview with Bill Krause here, so sit back and relax. But again, Grabog, hope you're streaming well. Thank you so much for joining us here. Yeah, may the force be with you indeed. Here you go. So 79 is where we're at now.
So this all started with these blueprints that were sold back in the 1980s. This was done by a fan artist named Larry Miller, who sold these fan-produced plans of his Hornet class ship. And back when I got back in the hobby, I had these plans for years, and thought I should, it's actually inspired this. The hull cutout was the original inspiration of the Shangri-La. Was that kind of. So that's where that came from, and then thought, well, I should just go ahead and build the Wasp. But then along the way, I thought I'm going to update it a little bit, so I redesigned his ship and built my version of his Hornet as the Wasp. But it all started from here, and Larry gets all the credit for what the Intrepid is today. It was from his blueprints from 1985.
Wow.
And Star Trek fans from that era, they probably got these in their closet somewhere. I know I still have mine.
Wow, that's a huge shout out. It's a long time shout out. 85?
Yeah, 85. And people always ask what these little docking hatches on the side of the dorsal are, and the way he's designed it is that's where the fighters dock on the sides of the thing. That they're stored internally in the hangar bays in the primary, and when, at least in my mind, when they want to get them ready to launch, they dock them on externally, so the pilots can just enter the ship through the hull, through the docking port, and they just launch them, like almost like a Battlestar Galactica. They just shoot off the sides. I think, but I never built a fighter for mine, but I put the docking hatches on the side.
Right. Just as like a ode, like a little shout. The Easter egg.
It's an Easter egg.
It's an Easter egg. Well, here's an interesting question. Like, we'll get to this last one here, but just the top view there, then there's the fighters there. That's crazy how it's there. It changes the profile definitely, but you've sort of filled it out a little bit from your Wasp version.
This was looking a little bit too dainty for my taste, so I like things that look like they could be a little more sturdy, and so I've beefed up quite a bit the pylon and the whole dorsal assembly, so it's more integrated, and definitely could take some combat if it had to.
Yeah, this did look a little too, but I mean, again, it's the original, right? When he was his vision, right? So, but here's an interesting question I'm gonna throw at you. Do you ever have any? Do you have any plans to make any alien ships like Klingon, Romulan, or any other? I have like a cool
I do.
machine.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been for a long time considering a Klingon design, and I've sketched out some ideas, and
Ooh.
I think possibly later this year, I think that would be something that I really have to do because I've been building nothing but Federation ships
Yeah.
for years, and I think I've run the course on that. So I have a lot of pent up Klingon design in me. I think that
Ooh.
I hope I can get out and do something.
We'll be waiting for that.
looking at. But I love what they're doing on Strange New Worlds. I saw that new look like a D7 and the season 2 trailer of Picard or of Strange New Worlds, and it's like, oh, so I'm looking forward to seeing some new Klingon stuff there too.
Oh man, and
Give me some ammunition for my work.
It's yeah, I'm excited for that definitely for Strange New Worlds. So before we move to the Titan, was there anything else that you wanted to mention on the Wasp here or the Intrepid?
No, we covered that. Pretty good.
Perfect.
That was the last slide.
Now we have slide 1 of was this a recent model that you're working on?
Let me back up here. See if I can. This was we're looking at slide 1 of the Titan A. That is the Shangri-La Mark II that Terry had asked me to build for him privately as a private commission because he really liked the Shangri-La. This is while we're working on season 2 of Picard, and he asked me to start building him his own Shangri-La. So this is it being built, and these are scratch built because I had done this originally back in 2015 with cast resin parts and parts of a AMT primary hull, and this is how I built it originally. And the Mark II incorporated some design elements that I had been hoping to do if I had the opportunity to build another Shangri-La. So it takes you can see here in this shot too how it fills in that cutout with little winglets, as well as adding an extra flat area around the hull. Gives you more internal volume of the primary hull because on the refit there's a very severe scallop through the primary, which really restricts people walking from the edge of the ship to the middle of the ship because it's only like barely a deck high at that location. I had this flat area, and suddenly you've got 2 decks straight through the hull from the outside to the inside.
I love how you're holding like paper clips. I'll take this itself.
Are you on number 2?
I was on number 2.
Yeah. And of course this has a brass armature to keep it all together, and these parts don't fit together. You have to create a skeleton that you build around and hang parts on, so it keeps it aligned, it keeps the strength throughout. It's the keel of the ship.
Right.
And some of these molds are, they're getting pretty ancient. So it was a struggle getting some of these parts out for even this one. And this is what Dave had asked me if I was working on a model for Terry. I had just finished putting it together and primed it, and I had asked Terry, so what do you want to call this ship? Do you have a name for it? He goes, oh, hold on a second, I've got an idea of using this in the show. I went, oh, really? This was the first inkling I had heard of that he was interested in actually putting the Shangri-La in the show. And of course I'm thinking, as a model, he's going to take his model and put it in the background, like behind Geordi's desk somewhere,
Right.
I go, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna have Shangri-La on the show, and I had no idea what was coming, but I was getting really excited. It's like Shangri-La's gonna be in Star Trek, and I had no idea. But Dave had asked me one day. He says, "So you're working on this model for Terry?" I go, "Yeah." get ready to paint it. This is when he asked me to mock up the engines.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I really don't want to cut these off. I just glued them on. And I photoshopped something. Yep. So, thankfully.
Like in slide 3, one of the things I love about your ship is the side profile. It just looks so sleek.
Yeah, it's just basically my hot rod version of the Enterprise. It's been chopped and channeled. It got a short dorsal. It's just compact. It's sleek.
Mm-hmm.
It's more sculpture than anything. It was really, when I built the original Shangri-La, I did have building something as I went, something I thought would look cool. I was sculpting by hand a lot of the patterns for the secondary, the dorsal, and it was just my first foray into getting into scratch building after a long absence of model making in 2015. So I'm amazed how well it's done since then. But
like especially one of my favorite things of your Titan, your Shangri-La, was the photon torpedo launchers in the front of the saucer. I wish they would have kept those. I really do wish they would have kept those.
And I think originally when I built the Shangri-La, I built this little, nose thing that looked like a front of a car.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know what I was going to put in there. It might have been a sensor or some kind of thing. And then I thought, well, where am I going to put the photons? Like, it's got to go up front. And 2 didn't fit the hole. 3 fit pretty good. And that's what stuck. So that's where they are. And then in slide 5, you'll see it's got a single photon aft on the line.
Oh, whoops.
Which I think the Titan does continue with that. I don't know if we ever see it fire its aft photon. I don't know.
I don't think so.
There was at least there's an indent for that on the Titan in that location. Although what I think in Doug's blueprint callouts, he calls the little the very base of the aft part of the dorsal the photon launcher, but that's actually the exhaust port for the photon exhaust. But they can fire it from wherever they want.
Yeah.
Also, in the Mark II, I changed up the impulse engine a little bit. I added a little divider in the middle there. The Mark II is different than the Mark I in this aspect too, because I changed that as well as adding some flush fit on the impulse housing just forward of that. They're more,
it's like really beefed up engines.
Corvette. And it always had that, and it just fit because I brought the lines back from the bridge straight back. It just took the contour of the BC deck and the bridge, and you just draw straight lines back, and it forms the shape of the impulse engine.
Like it looks so good.
But I try to minimize the aperture a little bit by adding that little divider, so it looks like it's got a split impulse. Kind of minimize the size of the thing, because it was meant to be a tactical cruiser, so it's very maneuverable, sublight, and of course adding the those winglets in the cutouts of the pylon or the primary hull.
Sorry, yeah.
Those are meant to be almost like ailerons, or they would articulate with thrusters, so it could pitch up or down, spin the ship as whatever it wanted to do by putting a hinged thruster assembly on the back edges of those winglets. Now on the Titan, they just made that thing just a glowing red thing, like it was an impulse engine.
I love that detail that you put on it, though. I can imagine it like just moving to give it that maneuverability.
If you've ever seen Howie Day's renders of the Shangri-La he's built digitally, he's added all that detail into his. Those are cool.
See, like just like when you look at the side profile of the Shangri-La there, it just looks like in slide 7, just So all I can say is, so good.
I think, you're getting into the primer shots of slides 8,
Yep.
9, 10.
Flight 2. Look at that. I
This
love
was
the
at the
neck.
time when it was. It's beveled. It's a little more pointed at the front. It flares back twice to fit around the dorsal, which is the long spine. And on the Shangri-La, it's more of a curved taper, and it rounds down. Whereas on the Titan, it goes straight across, straight down. I had purposely kept away from right angles on the ship. Everything's got, an angle. And there are a lot of parallel or congruent angles. If you look at the side view at slide 9, you've got, there's the dorsal, and then there's the inner dorsal. And there's all these angles that line up. And if you look from the top, the angle of the impulse engines are the same angle as the winglets. So there's all these parallel angles rather than have everything at different angles. It doesn't flow well if you don't have at least a couple of angles that are, buddies of each other. It's like, this all fits together because it looks parallel.
But I like how you've actually made this a tactical, like you said, a tactical cruiser, and it makes sense. And it did show that on screen with some of the movements it did, just the way it was flying. Again, just seeing it like grace, like what you said, grace across the screen. Yeah, this thing moving is like a ballet in space.
Oof. That's good. I'm glad that they followed that. Because we had to write some backstory as to why the Titan has, this huge impulse deck, and explain why it's there, because it's supposed to be very nimble and maneuverable. So I'm hoping that they, show that, proof of concept by making it do that on screen.
Oh yeah, no, she moved very well. Ooh, I think it's the first time I've actually seen the actual underside of her. On
it's
13.
not finished there, if I'm looking correctly. Are you on 13?
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not yet detailed the bottom of the secondary hull. It's just kind of plain there. These are all photos I would have sent to Doug for him to build his digital model of the Shangri-La. I gave him orthos as well as detailed pictures of the whole thing. Because Dave asked if I can send over the digital model. I go, that doesn't exist. A digital model, but I can send you a bunch of pictures, and that's all I can do.
See, I wish they would have kept the 3 photon torpedo launchers. Oh. I think you mentioned it before that the torpedoes were coming from the neck, and you were saying it was going to shoot itself.
Yeah, on the Titan, they're at the base of the dorsal, right above the nose of the secondary hull, and there's no way that they can actually go straight out without hitting the bottom of the dish. So when you see it shooting the Shrike, they actually fire around the dish or downwards. So apparently the photons are pre-programmed.
Apparently, just shoot down first, and then target and then go follow your target.
I mean, you could have put those photons really maybe on the sides of the deflector.
Yeah.
So a little lower or even below it. There's not a lot of room because that deflector takes a large portion of the front of the secondary hull.
But in image 15, I think those slits that you see there I think they could have cut in more in the hull, and then you would have had 2 launchers in there.
They could have. They didn't put that slit on the Titan. I added this for the Mark II. just because I thought that area needed some more detail.
I like that detail though, actually. Oof. Look at
They
that.
And Terry did ask, I think one of the few things he asked to change on it was to make the deflector bigger, what was on the Shangri-La. And I agree. I think that it made sense that it was a little bit bigger. I think it's probably a little too tiny on this, but
the overall shape, I think to me it wouldn't have mattered if it would get small, but I just this again, and it's not just me blowing over your design, just the fact that it is a really good design, and it translates so well to on screen, and again how they utilize the Titan in the action scenes. It just did really well in translation, I think.
yeah, I'm just really honored that they've kept it as true as they did to the Shangri-La itself. I mean, they didn't have to. I mean, they could have really just used anything they wanted to use a fan design, for a TV series hero ship.
And now the Enterprise.
And the Enterprise, it's like, wow, it's crazy.
Oh, I like this shot. I'm not sure if this is actual lights there or on script 19. Shangri-La Flight 2 concept, impulse deck. It says actually Sergeant Picard now.
Yeah, I'd mock that up for Doug to show him how these engines might look if they were to be illuminated with the kind of TMP style kind of gradient lines through the impulse engine. And they did this pretty close on the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
The next slide shows how I mocked up the photo when I did the mock-up for the concept. Basically just took a picture from this angle and then also held up an engine just out of frame, or in this case in the middle, at the same angle and the same lighting. So I then cut that out and use it to replace the other two engines that were there, and then create the next shot, which is slide 21.
I thought that was your mock-up for the Enterprise A. Sorry, the Enterprise D, like with the 3 nacelles.
Yeah. It could happen. We could do an Enterprise G.
Oof! Don't tease us! Don't tease us! Don't. That. If you do that, oh dear Lord, I might just faint off of my chair. Because just this shot alone, I could imagine it having a 3rd nacelle. Like I know some people don't like it, but I do.
With a giant ruler holding it up.
Oh, yeah. It'd be different, but
just leave it there. It's fine.
Yeah, just a dreadnought. Yeah, there you go. Like my man said, a dreadnought version of this. But yeah, that is such a Tito's like, yeah, don't tease us. Yeah, it's so sleek, and I think it fits so well, and even with the Sagan class nacelles, it really translated well from TMP to this.
These were reject engines from the Stargazer. You can see that because they're warped.
Yeah, a little bit of a...
Literally warped. They curve up a little bit.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, but they were missing some of the internal structure, but that's what I had on hand. Now this model, we could talk about this when I get to that, but I don't know if I talk about this later on in the slides. Yes, I do.
I'm on 24. Yeah, I'm on 24. Yeah, we're just going over this. There you go. Now you added the colors to her.
I did this later once they started writing some of the backstory canon of the Titan and actually referenced the Shangri-La as, you know, a TMP era ship captained by Savick back in the 2290s. And this is the NCC number that they gave it. 1777. So I mocked this up based on that information.
That looks so good. Dear Lord. I love the detail there on the shuttle bay. The landings, oh, I don't want to say landing strip, but just here. This is your shuttle bay.
Yeah. It's a mocked up photograph of the original which I had taken years ago when I was actually working on some ideas too, so the winglets they're all photoshopped in there, but I use it as a template to, you know, try out some ideas and markings or even paint schemes before I ever paint a ship. I'll Photoshop a picture of the model of the ship and try out some stuff on a photo before I actually commit paint to model.
Right.
And that's what's going on there. So if I ever build another Shangri-La, it would probably be the Titan, which would be kind of cool. And do it big. I do a big 350 scale.
Oof, please do.
But later, after the Klingon ship.
Yes. No. Great call.
Not like tomorrow.
No.
Maybe Saturday. No, next
Saturday?
Year. Kidding.
See, now this is your I'm on 27, which is kind of showing 26 and 27 there.
Yeah, now you're looking at the model that's being built by Doug digitally. This is his first pass at it, and he had, you know, said, it's like, Bill, it's like trying to, you know, look through a telescope, you know, at the moon and try to, you know, replicate what you've done. Because he's working on photographs, he doesn't really know the geometry. He's working under pressure to do this in a week.
Right.
So it's not perfect. You know, it's just close approximation. But what he did with the secondary hull is amazing. I don't think he got the engine or the impulse engine quite right. And I thought, well, it's a first pass. You know, we'll get to work on it, massaging this. This is my fantasy. Thought, oh, we're gonna work on this, massage it. No. It's just gone. We're done.
We're
what?
Done.
We're done. Like, no, what?
I thought we were gonna have virtual coffee.
I thought we were gonna be like, yeah, sitting back. Let's change this. Let's massage this. Let's bend this. Nope.
Next email done. What?
We're good to go. But yeah,
yeah, I think they you see the winglets there, you know, it's not there. I think that detail that you had.
Yeah, they were just basically just slabs just put in there, which I thought were just placeholders. I thought, you know, we could go in there and, you know, fix them up and
yeah,
do stuff.
So much for the step-by-step process. Step 1, call, talk about it once. Step 2, done. What?
Let's go. And these early renders, it still had Shangri-La on the hull.
I mean, he did this in a week?
For a long time. Yeah.
I can only imagine how long it took him to actually, like, per day. Step 3, profit, yeah.
I could not do this. I wish I could, but
I mean, he nailed a lot of the details, though.
Mm-hmm. If you get into the later slides, I think past 2 starts on slide 38.
These are just all the same, just different shots. So 35, 36.
He's just adding more textures, windows.
Oof.
A lot of glowy bits.
I love that against the black. Oh, that looks so good.
There were a lot of blue glowing bits on the winglets. It's like the whole end of it just glowed blue. Wasn't sure what he was going for there. Even around the impulse, there were blue strips.
Yeah,
Not sure
even the
what that
hull
was
too.
for.
On the
Yeah.
saucer.
Mhm.
Kind of like what when actual like other Twitch streamers do, just glowing lights all over the place.
And I don't know why. I think when I first saw this, and it had phaser turrets, and strips, and I was like,
Turrets and strips?
Phaser strips and turrets.
Yeah, I wonder why.
But I didn't know what they were. What I thought, there's got to be a reason for this. I think there was. I think we saw. Did we see both being used in the show?
The final fight of the Titan there, when she was trying to engage the Borg fleet, she was firing multiple phasers all over the place from multiple spots from the saucer, or I can remember.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was so quick. I mean, I'd have to watch it again to see if it was coming from the strips or the turrets. Regardless, she looked good doing it.
And you can see that the base of the dorsal, there's a red glow. Where I think he's putting the photon.
Mm-hmm. And we get this. Oof. Sorry.
And then John Eves did this illustration for production. And for whatever reason, if you zoom in on the fan tail midway, I don't know why he was thinking it was the midway, but that's what it says. It still says Shangri-La on the front, but on the tail it says midway. And,
it does?
Did they change? Did we change the name of the ship? Maybe he was thinking that. I don't know. I asked him about that. I said, remember that one you called the midway? I go, yeah.
Why?
Why?
Oh,
it looks. No one will notice.
Just trying.
See it?
Did you? So this image here, I wanted to ask you about this. So this was, of course, that scene in the nebula, the Titan plasma venting system. Was that something?
Yeah, tell me about that.
You had incorporated in your design?
No, it was in the. No, it was in the script. I think I was telling you that I was reading it. And there's a part where they have to open the vents.
Oh, okay.
And then when I got the digital model, when it was sent to me, it has what's called instances of the model. So this got damage built in. Like they can just turn layers on damage from Alios. And here's the version with the engines open, or the nacelles open, with this all stuff inside of it. And I go, what's this? So I assumed it was going to be, seen in the show. And then eventually I saw these posted by Doug's, which I included here. It's pretty cool.
I actually like that scene. That was pretty. I like the whole explanation of it. And then seeing it happen, I was like, oh, wow. When they're saying that, the warp core is drawing power, I was like, and then it was showing as it was moving. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. And all this was built into the digital model, and even the one that we're working on now for Terry. When we had to take that model and make it printable, going through and getting rid of all this stuff that you don't need. I don't need all this stuff inside, the engine. So removing all this little itty bitty detail took a lot of time.
Love how, again, just that stamp of Star Trek Picard season 3. Like, this is forever yours. Like, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. Then you got this another side profile here. So good.
Is this the sketch?
47.
Yeah, this is what Doug drew. He drew these orthographic line drawings of the Titan, and which I copied when I did the Intrepid in the style. And you can see here how he's even replicated the Shangri-La hull markings. You'll see that those little blue chevrons below on the secondary hull.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they didn't translate to the ship, but it's actually there. It's on the Titan. You'll see them as they're gray patterns, but they're there. They're not blue, but they are there.
Oof.
Is it kind of like that kind of duck egg greenish blue on the pylons, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. Like all this official shots here, it just looks, I don't know. Like I've always said, ships are my favorite thing, and when you see that, especially for you, of course I can only imagine, like from thought to this, you know, that whole just journey to this point, and then being able to see it on screen. Oh, I love this when this was released. I know it's just kind of hard to see on screen here, but with all them explaining what these were, like RCS thrusters, hangar bays, plasma, photon spillways, all that stuff.
Right.
And he did that, I think, with the Excelsior too, I think. I believe.
We did it on Sagan.
Yeah, Sagan, yeah.
The Intrepid. I don't know if I've seen one on the Excalibur, but this was part of the Starship Bible that we all got.
Oof.
It was given to all the art department people, and so they can all be on the same page with things.
And geek over it a
You
little
can see
bit.
here, even in this illustration, it has the self-illuminated registry going on, even at this late stage.
I think I like that, the self-illuminating thing, registries, as opposed to like spotlights.
I think the next one.
Registry number is pending. Also, text will be black, not white. Oh.
Yeah.
Luminous
And they also
sensors.
said there will be 2 properly scaled photon torpedo launch front where the arrows are.
Where did they put that?
And they actually had them a little lower. They were going to be just
right there.
just above the deflector, according to this illustration. So whoever put them up on the dorsal wasn't paying attention to this time.
Yeah. Oh, I can actually zoom in. Duh. There you go. Photor probe launcher. Yeah, there's the markings that you were talking about. Yeah, they kept it on there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
At least in this illustration.
Titan concept sketch, July 21.
Yeah, I did this right after I gave Doug all the photos of the model, thinking, well, we're going to be developing the ship, and I should be ready with some ideas. So I started sketching out, some future ideas that, I thought would be developing into a 25th century ship. I had left that Monday to go to Colorado for a month to shoot another film, actually work on miniatures for a film. And so that's why I couldn't work on helping him with a digital aspect of it. But I thought I can sketch in the hotel room. And so I sketched out some ideas here, which I sent to them. And they were like, no, we're good. It's like, oh, okay.
We're good. Don't worry about it.
We're good. But maybe I'll build something from this idea. I don't know.
I like that. See, this sketch here, the neck looks
Enterprise
more
H.
Don't do that. Do it. No, do it. But this looked more of a curve as opposed to just like a straight line. I like that.
Yeah, I was really trying to get rid of the kind of boxy look of the impulse engine. Try to just blend that in a little better to everything, so it wasn't just like this, a tractor trailer just backed into the primary hall. It was artwork. It was flowing. It was going from the bridge all around and into the doors. 25th century. It should be smooth sculpture.
Yeah. But then I like how you still incorporated some angles to it, and it looked... I think that's what makes it futuristic looking.
We'll never know.
I mean, if you make one, they'll come, right? What?
I make one. Sure.
I love this. You had this in your files that just sent you, the whole Starfleet Museum with the Datum Station and Enterprise D. Like you had this before the Picard 3 season dropped?
Oh yeah, this was done sometime during the production.
So you knew the Enterprise D was going to be shown.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was amazed how big the Titan was compared to the D. It's like, oh. The big ship. And you can see how just a little bit bigger the Intrepid is lengthwise.
Yeah. The Shrike. So let's see, yeet an asteroid at it for revenge for yeeting a Helios at it. Oh, there's our back. I think I picked this one as our background because this is one of my favorite pictures. This drawing of the Titan in her space dock.
That's some concept art done by James Chung for the production. I think I got that from Dave, or maybe Terry had posted that online. So I didn't see this until after the show had been aired.
It's such a great shot. I love it. USS Titan, Pier 4. I didn't see that earlier. And shot slide 54.
Yeah, that was an idea that they had for when it was in space dock, that there would be this kind of holographic docking signage. Here's the Titan. This is her berth, Pier 4. They dropped this, but there's a shot that could have been,
She looks so good. Oof. There's that shot of her leaving the Earth space dock there. I can hear the music playing in my head.
Yeah. I think that's still my favorite shot of the ship.
The front?
When it's leaving the space dock through the doors, and that angle, and even the one where it's going away,
That aft? That aft!
Before it works out.
Captains know that I'm an aft captain. I am. It's hard to just look at that. Look at it. Arrgh! Sorry. Then I see what I loved about this shot is when it was leaving the Earth space dock, like just the planet. I love, like in Star Trek Online, I love taking shots with the planet there, and this was like indeed one of my favorite shots of the Titan when it was like same with you leaving, but just I don't know, just kind of gives you the scale when you see a planet there, and just the grandiose sort of setting of where it is, like Earth space dock in space above the planet. Then you have your ship leaving space dock. I just thought that was like a cool shot. And I think this is from the episode, right, where the shuttle is leaving when Picard and Riker says, "See ya."
Yep. We're gonna steal a shuttle.
We're gonna steal a shuttle.
Okay.
Is
nobody watching the shuttle bay? Hey, what? They're gone. Oh, wait, it's too late. They're gone.
And they're gone.
And they're gone. And they take the Savik, which gets destroyed. So I'm kind of sad about that.
Oh. But this scene, when the Titan warped in between the Shrike and the Helios, I love that. That was such a dynamic shot of the ship just kind of warping in so precisely just to break the tractor beam.
You get a good shot of the warp governor's impulse crystals as well from this angle too. That's another detail that translated from the original model exactly. And I think I posted something about on the original Shangri-La. Those things are hubcaps from a 1960 Dodge Polara.
Oh dear Lord! Another
that I used on the
auto
model.
egg.
And here they are. Here they are. In the 25th century on the actual ship.
Another auto egg.
Who would have thought? It's like one of the only greebles that I pulled out of the model box for any starship. Like, these hubcaps look pretty cool. I'll use them on the ship. It's the only, found part that I've used on any starship. Here it is, digital, on the Titan.
And here's a shot that made your heart skip a beat. Oof. Again, love. This shot and of it swooping in the Daystrom station was one of my favorites of the Titan in flying action. And of course, it coming out of cloak. Because it has a cloak. Yes, the Titan has a cloak. There's the vents again there for just a little bit more detail. What does it say up there? Smoothness, instance, display layer, distance from camera, selected objects. Was that from Doug? Or the art department?
Yeah, it's from a render of the model itself. And you can see some of the texture mapping on it. It's really cool. It's got this kind of hexagonal honeycomb kind of texture on the top of the cells. You really don't see that until you're in full daylight and look at that, all that detail. How am I going to do that on the model?
That's a lot of detail.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you surprised Terry with actual vents coming that can actually open.
Wouldn't it?
Huh?
Don't say that.
Oh, sorry. No, he's not going to hear. What?
What?
I'm just saying. You'd probably freak him out. You'd freak him out.
If I had a remote control, I press a button and
right? Oh god, like the
now we're getting silly.
The destroyed. Look at that. Look at the detail they put in there. It being destroyed, or well, not destroyed, where the Helios probably hit.
Right, this was an instance in the model that shows you the impact where the Helios hit the BC deck there.
As I said, it's unfair. How could the Titan get damaged from a ship, but the Shrike, that with all its pointy bits, didn't even have anything break off when an asteroid was yeeted at it?
Luckily, this was just a broom closet. Didn't hurt too bad.
You know where we're going next, right?
Is this a chart?
63.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we'll let you talk about this one, because this is one of my favorite images when I was going through this.
Yeah, people kept asking how long the Titan is. I was given the number of 560.5 meters long. And they're like, well, how long is the Shangri-La? About 295. So they couldn't quite visualize how big a difference those numbers are. So I'm like, all right, here they are. Here's all the ships in size scale. Here's the Sagan, here's the Titan, here's the Luna, here's the Shangri-La. it's not the Shangri-La, just new engines. It's a whole new ship, and it looks like the Shangri-La, but it's a brand new ship that is much bigger because those engines, that they used on the Sagan and the Intrepid, they're all the same size. That's how big they are. And I was here. What about the windows?
I don't know why that's I don't know why that's such a point of discussion. Who cares? Who cares about the windows? I don't. Right.
But people get fixated on that, and I see any kind of forum where they're talking about the Titan, it's about the damn windows, and it's a right click. Goodbye. I'm out of it because I'm sick of it. I had nothing to do with it. That's what they want to talk about. It's like, whatever.
No, I like that one picture. I think it was it Dave or Terry that sent? I think it was Dave. He tweeted out because in Picard they said this was Riker's old ship, and a lot of people were like, "Well, how?" Well, I think from what I got from the picture it was just like its innards from the Titan that went into the Titan A. Not necessarily anything, but
it could have been any historical artifact from the ship that that they wanted to use. I mean,
right?
Because humans are emotional and they're attached to things, give things names like ships. They look at the aircraft carrier Enterprise and the long history that has, and they saved portholes from the original World War II aircraft, put it into the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, and they're going to put it in the new Enterprise, just to it's tradition. They're not refits of each other. They're all brand new ships. They're all called Enterprise, but they carry a little piece of the previous version in the new version, just for
I actually like that. I've never thought
heritage.
of it that way.
But when you get to the Titan, the Titans, there's this whole refit issue where obviously they're two completely different ships. They all both share the same name, and people just can't get around that issue.
They literally can't.
Had they go with a different name for the Titan, that would have fixed a couple of things, I guess. There's a story point with Riker and being involved with it, and Shaw, so they had to tie that name in somehow.
Right.
So, but that's all beyond what I'm doing. So
yeah,
that's part of the story. And
so are we ready for this? Okay, all right, we're ready for this one. Take it away.
And we have this slide, right? Which shows potential scales of the Titan. One is it scaled to the original Shangri-La. Option A, option B is it scaled. Option C is it scaled engine to the Sagan, which is what they want. Next slide. No windows involved in this at all.
No windows involved.
No windows involved.
No. Oh. Another shot. I like this. Again,
another scale reference. Shang 3 and Shang 2. For a long time, I kept calling Titan just Shang because that's what it was. But
yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be called the Titan for a little bit.
Oh, now I'm not sure which is this the newer one or for Terry that you have here in slide 66.
So now we're getting into making the ready room miniatures.
Oh, okay.
And originally, when the Titan first got approved and all that was like early summer, they asked for, can we have a a gold-plated model of the Titan. And I gave him a price. You know, it was based on what I had done for season 2, just to build one. They're like, we don't have quite the budget we had in season 2. Maybe we'll just do Eagle Moss and go paint him. I go, okay, whatever. And I heard nothing about it for like 2 months. This is after I did the Intrepid. They're like, then 10 days out from shooting on the season 3, said, "Oh, we have to have Intrepid or a Titan models. Can you build a Titan?" Like, oh, okay. And you have 10 days to do this. So, you know, we'll send over the digital model. You print it.
Dear
You know, I
Lord.
got the model. This is gonna take me a 2 weeks just to break this model apart to make it printable. I need to be building something right now.
Yeah.
So I started to build, you know, again by hand. I scratch built Titan, and using, you know, the drawings that I had. And you'll see that this Titan does not look like the actual Titan. I'm trying to smooth out some things that were bugging me about the design of the thing. So just in smoothing out the impulse engine, it's not as radical as my sketch, but it's a little different. Since I'm scratch building this, you know, hey, it's in Bill Krause's hands now.
Yeah.
Look out. But, you know, so it's got a little modification to the impulse deck. Everything else, you know, is close to I can get it, because I don't have the digital model to print. I have some extra engines. Again, these are the ones I had used as the mock-up for the original thing, you know, a few months ago. So I reutilize them for the gold-plated version here. And as I'm, you know, building this model, like the next day, they're like, "Hey, what else you got laying around that we can use as the predecessor to the Titan? We can put on the legacy wall here." And what else I got laying around? I got the Shangri-La. You know, how about that? It's ready to go. Like, oh, okay. Let's just use that. Well, and you know, plus that'll be canon. It's like, great. It made sense. It's just the predecessor to the Titan. Why not just use the Shangri-La model? So yeah, these had to be made so they can be plated, so they're solid resin. They weigh a ton, but they're still built with a
Skeleton.
A-brace armature. But I'm drilling holes and everything to fill them with resin, liquid resin, so they're
Okay.
they will become lead anchors in the plating tank, so they sink and nothing fills into them with liquid. Because in season 2 we found out that hollow models are not cool, leaking fluid onto the set through gold plating. So season 3, we're good to go.
I love how you showcased your little helper there.
Yeah, Almond's always inspecting, making sure I'm doing stuff right, because she knows if I'm doing it wrong.
Especially after
in the case
6 models.
Yeah. These ones, they knew they were going to be mounted from the belly, so I didn't need a second port to mount them from the side like I did on the Stargazers. So that was easy to do. The Shangri-La, unfortunately, had a round brass hole support rod, so I had to figure out a way of making it so it can receive a square rod and not spin on the wall as being held vertically. So yeah, worked, you know, straight 10 days to get these things out and sent over to them so they can get them plated and thrown on the wall. And got a whole of a lot more screen time than the season 2 ships did, which were, you know, on screen for about a second.
Yeah.
I think these gold-plated ships are like every single show. They're in the background behind Geordi or behind Riker or behind everybody. They're still gold-plated. Like, wow.
No, they looked. I mean, even in the last shot there, when it was going, transitioning from Beverly to Tuvok, they used the L cars of the Titan, and then the Shangri-La, and then they went over to Tuvok. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. In fact, they had the way it was shot, they panned from the furthest model on the right, which was originally the Shangri-La, because throughout the series, left to right is Titan, Titan A, the Luna, and then the Shangri-La on the far right.
Mm-hmm.
For that shot with Tuvok, they just swapped the Shangri-La and the Titan.
Oh.
So that it dissolves to the actual Titan. Then it pans to Tuvok because
I didn't realize that.
the Shangri-La was there. And Terry messaged me. He says, "Do you see that shot?" I go, "Yeah, I did that for you." I go, "Thank you." So I see you swap the ships too. You go, "I didn't realize we did that." You had to because there's no way. I probably most people don't. They see the top view of the Shangri-La and the Titan. They probably can't tell them apart. I can tell, but
oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to.
Most people probably wouldn't be able to tell.
But you made them, so they're your babies. Oh, look at that packaging. There you go, Shangri-La, Titan. Here you go.
Yeah. They basically get mummy wrapped in foam. They're on a backboard, heavy cardboard or wood, and they're just lashed to that thing on their backs, so they don't move. And then wrapped in foam, and then saran wrapped, so they're like basically so you can throw us across the room, and they're not going to do anything. And then that gets put into a foam lined box, and so they get there because it's basically they're sent in as one piece.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to arrive intact.
And
as heavy as they are, yeah. And they did their own Luna themselves. They realized on day 3 after they'd asked me to do the other 2 Titans that, "Oh, we need a Luna." Oh, yeah. You think?
Yeah.
And I think they contacted Eagle Moss to get the model so they can print it themselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that. I mean,
shoot, I had to do that too, and thankfully they took care of that because I thought, oh my god,
that would have been hilarious if they asked, "Can you? How about no? Let me worry about my ships."
No. You never say no. You figure out a way of doing it. You start scrambling. It's like, who can help me? Somebody help me, please.
But thankfully, it was just your ships to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah, these were featured a good handful of scenes, definitely, especially because they were all in that room there meeting.
They made a great background in that room.
Mm-hmm. Just a throwback to TNG when they had all the Enterprises there.
Mm-hmm. I wish they had mounted the Stargazers that way too. I think that would have shown off better rather than at a profile.
Mm-hmm. Todd's like, "Hey, can I have one?"
Sure. Gonna break into Paramount's archive and steal it. Or Terry's house.
I was about to say, Terry did a little swap there. What? We'll let this guy on the bridge. Look at that. Commander Bill Krause. What? Gamma shift? Let's go.
I have one of the sections of the turbo lift, not this one, but another one. A friend sent me. He worked on the show. It's actually the bridge screen. I think there's 4 screens throughout the turbo lift.
And you got one of them?
I got one of them. It doesn't have my name on it, but.
So who is in Alpha Shift? Oh, of course, Liam.
Yeah, the Alpha Shift stays the same, I think, on all of them for the first, because those are the actual characters. Everybody else in there is all the crew, all the art department.
Is Thomas here?
You got Drexler. I don't know.
I don't think.
I haven't seen all of the panels. He might be in one of the other ones.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a photo of this one because my name's on it, but I think he might be on one of the other gamma shifts.
Yeah. I love how you just have this. Oh, look, are you in the Titan registry?
Yeah, I'm on the Admiralty board. See, I'm really an Admiral Bill Krause.
Oh, dang! Let's go! Look at that. course, Chief of Staff. That's awesome. Jane Roddenberry.
You gotta think, other than there are two Bill Krauses in the Picard universe. There's a Commander Bill Krause.
And there's
a Gamma ship. There's Admiral Krause. Maybe his dad. I don't know.
There's his dad. Yeah, the dad and the son. Look at all the people that would. That's crazy. Like the Easter.
Look at that lineup.
Starfleet Command, Starfleet Operations, Research Development, Technical Operations. I wonder who gets to keep the plaque. Who gets to keep the plaque?
Oh, I don't know.
Terry.
I don't think they made one for the Enterprise, but he might have it. Terry might have it.
Well, look at that.
I would. If anyone has it, he has it.
Slide number 95.
Yeah, these were some of the sneak previews I was getting from VFX when I got the phone call, the text message. Hey, Bill, do you know what's going on with the Titan at the end of the season 10? I go, oh yeah, I know what's going on. They're renaming it. I go, yeah, but do you know what they're naming it? I go, yeah. I know you know. And they purposely left the name of the ship off to be revealed from this, kind of tilt shot from the bottom to the top. And so, just the top registries there. It says Enterprise.
Change ship
Figured,
name.
it's still being worked on in the shipyard. They haven't put the name on the bottom yet. They'll get there. So the model I'm making will have the bottom registry on it, but for the show, they kept it off. So that was my my surprise
for you.
Text message one evening.
Like to know that your ship now is the Enterprise with a potential side series coming up. That's like, oof. Like I like to think it's potential because the steam from like the momentum from Picard, I still feel that it was so well received. Mind you, up until the death of not up until the death, but when Liam died, I was kind of like, oh. He was a character that I had a weird relationship where it went from I don't like you because you said no to Picard, and then, I please don't die because I thought you were gonna die, and then to I don't like you again. Like I think he did such a great job with Liam Shaw. Todd did that. Oh, he got
because when you read the script, there's no way you like this guy at all. And I'm reading the script thinking, boy, I really don't like this character. Until you see him on screen, you're like, wow, this is like best character of the season.
He was a surprise character, definitely. Like in terms of his depth up until how he was portrayed, and even like I said that he stood up against the legacy characters on his own. Like he did that good of a job that he wasn't overshadowed by the legacy characters. He stood up to them. And there she is, USS Enterprise NCC 1701G. I bet you. Sorry, go ahead.
If you go back to the slide 97 of the fantail, real quick, this was the shot that they sent me of the fantail. I went, why is the Enterprise curving like this? Doesn't it?
It should be curving.
It's the wrong font. It's like, what's it doing here? So if I did anything on the ship, direct the way that the word Enterprise read across the fantail, and slide 98 was the outcome of that, thanks to the guys at the VFX who are passionate about this as I am, and they're like, yes, it should be.
Sorry,
not what we see in 90. Yeah,
my bad. But yeah, like I don't know if you can remember, but how when you finally saw the actual shot of the G, what were your first thoughts?
Well, I had already been sneak previewed,
Yeah.
the visual shots before I saw the show, but of course with the music and see the reactions of Picard and the crew of the shuttlecraft as they approach, and the music, it wasn't long enough. I wanted, I wanted the Scotty tour around the ship. Spent another 5 minutes just going around the ship, looking at the word Enterprise on it, before they got on board. But it was over too soon. I go, oh, we cut away to a poker game. It's like, wait a minute.
Go back to my ship.
What happened to Enterprise?
Go back to my ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized, looking at, I'm gonna put you back here quickly. On screen, you have the hat of the Titan.
I do. Actually, I wore this out today. I went to Hobby Lobby to get some primer to work on Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been wearing this around the last couple of weeks, and apparently there's no other Star Trek fans in Ohio because no one's ever, hey, I like your hat. Nothing. And today I'm in the checkout, and there's an old guy behind me, and he sees my hat, and he goes, "Never forget." I'm thinking, what hat am I wearing?
What?
I wasn't quite sure what he's talking about. I go, yeah, that's right, never forget. So I wasn't quite sure if he was thinking that, am I wearing some naval cap, and maybe I'm a veteran. I wasn't going to say I'm not, or explain the hat. It's like, that's right, never forget. So this is going to be a new catchphrase about the Titan. Maybe it was a Star Trek fan, and he was worried about don't forget about the Titan.
Right.
I don't know where he was going with that, but yeah.
When did they send you the swag?
Oh, I had to buy this. This is through Todd's friend.
Oh.
I think I posted a link on my Twitter.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy he works with who does this Mystic Libations stuff, his swag, and he's got a little shop. He sells some Star Trek stuff. He's got hats and T-shirts. He's got the G, he's got the D, and so I got a T-shirt and I got the hat. So now I've got to get a G hat.
Oh, yeah, you got to get that.
Because I'm wearing Tycho swag here. I've got the hood sweater on today.
All right, we're gonna go back to your image.
Never forget.
No, don't. You should have like a sweater now with that. Never forget.
I need a shirt. I need a shirt. Titan. Never forget.
Look at that Enterprise, and that is just so cool. Like I can't. Like my face hurts from smiling. That's insane.
Yeah, I made that banner for my Facebook page when I found out. I go, I'm gonna get this ready to go. Next day after the show airs, bam, gonna put that up there. And
you were itching, weren't you? Like, come on.
I was itching to put that up there, and I almost forgot about it. Then the episode aired, and I go, oh yeah, I the show. And so.
Oh, there you go. Thank you to all the amazing work. And where are you here? Where did they put you? Like they should have put you on everything, because you did. I feel like you did everything.
I should be on there twice. It should be Commander Bill Krause and it should be an Admiral Bill Krause.
So art
right?
department, yeah.
I think I'm in the first column to the left.
Oh, they're
just above.
They're
Thomas.
above Thomas. There you go. Let's go. Yes.
And right below Sean.
Look at that. That is so cool. Ooh, what's this? A t-shirt?
That was an art department shirt that the crew wore out in Hollywood, in LA, and I found out about it because John says, "Hey, do you got one of these shirts?" I go, "No." So I immediately texted art department people there, and, "Hey, get any extra shirts?" "Oh yeah, we'll work on it." And
boom,
never heard about it.
Oh,
so, But you got, there's a picture. Here's the Shrike in the middle, and you got the Helios, the Titan, the D at top, and then the Intrepid. I think that's the La Serena to the left.
The little tick over there.
Yeah.
But
I think these were on goodies. Yeah. Didn't get one.
Oh.
But my name's on the bridge plaque. Never forget.
That is what is most important. That is what's most important. Okay, so let's take this off now. Put you back on. Because I think we are... There you go.
We're out of slides.
We're out of slides, but...
That's the first time that's ever happened.
We have a lot of... we have had a lot of the moments that we wanted to capture here in terms of what we wanted to discuss, because again, one of the things, and I can still feel it right now, your just passion for this stuff is just, it just comes through. Like it's almost like I can say like you're a kid in a candy store, with seeing, especially your reaction. That's kind of because I can sense and hear the joy in your voice when you're talking about your work finally. I'll say finally, but just there's no higher recognition. There's no higher, in our world of Star Trek, right? Like especially to those who love ships. So it's just, and for the most part, again, I want to say thank you, because you've just been so awesome to just even accept our invitation to come here and just talk about it. And that's all we do. We're just hanging out, chilling, talking.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for the interest in talking about this at all, because I understand there's not a lot of people who like the Titan or the Intrepid or me or whatever, and because I see it, it's just. But I love the opportunity to talk about this stuff. This is my passion, like you say, and I love starships in all forms, whether it's drawing them, building them, designing them, painting them. I'm a ship guy, and
well, I would love to see more of your alien designs once you flesh them out later tomorrow. What?
Yeah. Maybe Saturday.
Maybe Saturday. No, Bill.
Yeah.
I know it's super late for you. Like I know, and like it's like 10:47 for me. I think it's like 1 for you.
Just about.
Oh my dear Lord, I'm so sorry. But
it's all right.
Captains, if there's anything you want to ask, like he's going to see it on YouTube. Maybe just put him down quickly there. But was there anything that you can sort of plug here for anything to look out for the next couple months, next year, for us to look out for anything that you're working on?
Just more of my model work that I've been commissioned to work on. Finishing up the Enterprise G here by the end of the month. Wonderfest is coming up next month. I think it's June 7th through the 10th or something like that in Louisville. And it's an annual, huge event. And I'll be there with John Eves and Rick Sternbach and
oh wow,
a bunch of other guys, and we'll be talking what we're talking about today, Picard and starships, and building the Titan A for Todd. That'll be great to see that. Hopefully at his house when it gets finished. The Excalibur, which I've been working on for over a year now, it's also going to be finished in time for Wonderfest.
Oh, nice.
And then you have a handful of Strange New Worlds disco prizes. One is mostly done.
Oof.
And 2 more after that. And there's a Radiant also coming out this summer, a large-scale lit commission piece, painted and everything. So that'll be fun to see that. That'll be the Lysan. I think I posted today some of the plaques that have just come in from my contractor who makes them for me for all the ships coming up this year. I think there's like 6 of them.
Wow.
That'll keep me pretty busy through summer, and then some. And then we get into the future work that's already on the schedule, and somewhere in the mix.
I think you said you're busy till next year already. In terms of commission work, that's insane. Here's a question, or have him plug his Shapeways store. Was there anywhere I can grab that quickly? Or
I think it's just Tycho Yard. If you search Shapeways for Tycho Yard, I don't have a lot of stuff up there. A lot of the models I upload, which I print for myself, I'll then add to the store. For whatever reason, when they go to somebody else, they error and they pull it off production. Like, well, it printed just fine for. I don't know. So I just don't have time to mess with that. So things that are still left on the shop are ones that are successfully printed, and who knows if tomorrow they'll find something else wrong with some other.
Right.
And,
so yeah, just Google that, Caps, Tycho Yard, and you'll see some of the things that you can get for yourself.
Most of them are just parts. I don't have full ships. I mean, I think the Endurance is the only one, a printable little thing, but the rest are all parts for other. I do phaser turrets and hangar bays and things like that.
Hopefully, though, one thing I'd like to add is I hope that Star Trek Online contacts you in the future sometime and says, "So, what you doing? Would you like to build another ship for us?" I would. Oh man, if there was one more ship that you can get into Star Trek, not Star Trek Picard, but just into Star Trek now, what ship would it be out of your Tycho fleet?
Oh wow. Well, for a long time, people thought the Endurance was going to be Enterprise, and I was kind of not denying that. It's like it helps divert the attention from what I know is going to be the Enterprise G. So it's just kind of feeding, the rumor mill. Yeah, I kept dropping little hints. Yeah, the Endurance might be in. No, it's not. But it might be in Picard. No, it's not. And that might be a fun thing to see. And it could fit almost any era. Just change a couple things and good to go. It's kind of like a ship for all seasons.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, CJ, for finding his ship. There you go. I'll also paste this on YouTube. There you go. Oh wow, look at that. Yep. So you can get the Endurance, you can get the Calypso. Yeah. We're probably gonna get that. I want that. Oh, both. I'm gonna get both. Let's go.
I have the Calypso in that plastic. It's not bad. But yeah, they're expensive. I mean, for what you get, $52.63 for a little, 3-inch long model. Well, 4.1 inch.
I think for me, it would be a representation of both of our interviews. Just for me, just my sort of connection to the ship love, and then sort of how, the two interviews that we've had. So I would, it's not, the money's nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
if you select the white natural versatile plastic, you can get it for $14.
Oh, there you go.
That might be fine.
Oh, you have choices? Let's go.
You can pick the material that you want, and there's like a list of probably 100 things you can. But that's a nice Christmas ornament size. You tie a little string around that, hang it from the tree.
Or just put it on your desk.
Do that. You'd have to drill a hole or create a stand for it.
Oh, I'll be like flying it. I'll be going. Near. Sorry, no, I don't do that. No, I think of the Calypsos like I don't know. I like them both, but the Calypso has the forward swept, upward pylons there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Caps. There you go. There's a link to his store there. Thank you, CJ. That was awesome. Can you please ask, what about the battle section? It's the most important, the saucer separation, anything already designed into it. Striker, we did sort of talk about that. That was on the, I think when we were talking about the Intrepid. But do you think your Titan or your Shangri-La or your Enterprise G would have that function?
Separate as a two-part attack thing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it could. I think I imagine, actually, I've drawn or inscribed on the Shangri-La, both Mark 1 and Mark 2, a separation of the upper command deck, like the bridge module and part of the impulse deck, like it can escape as a lifeboat.
Oh, see? So yeah.
Itself. Not the entire not the entire primary hull, although that could potentially leave too if it wanted to. It's like it can probably like separate into smaller pieces as you go along. Say, oh, we don't need so much space. Let's dump that. Let's just get it.
Let's just keep going.
Keep going until you're like this, you know.
It's the pod.
Bathtub.
It's like a little pod.
Just us. Let's go.
Let's go. No, seriously though, Bill, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you for having me.
I am so humbled, and hopefully, if there are any more ships that we can feature here on our little YouTube channel, we'll do it for you, because I love talking this stuff with you. And again, from us here, a huge congratulations for not only getting 2 of your ships there, but your 1 ship to be the next Enterprise. And hopefully there's a spin-off series. I'd love to see her more in action.
We shall see.
Yeah, I hope.
Forward to any merchandise that might be coming, if they do it. Yeah. If there's a Hallmark ornament or there's a model kit, that's the goal, or the hope of beyond seeing your ship, on TV or being the hero ship, is what kind of merchandise am I going to get that I could
that you can actually I'm gonna have to look out for that, because it sucks that what happened to Eagle Moss, but hopefully there'll be another. Then like Polar Lights, I think, is another one that does that stuff. Polar Lights, but
they make model kits.
Yeah,
I think it was Ben Robinson. He was asking. He had a poll on Twitter asking what potential things would you like to see us do. Whatever I think is it Master Replicas that are now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I just said, hey, I'd like to see an Enterprise G. I might be the only one, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. A whole bunch of people said, oh yeah, I want to see it. And Ben said, you're not the only one, so.
No, trust me, you're not the only one. No, I would love to see a model up from Master Replicas, because that would be definitely something I would be. And yes, Commander Farsight, this will be going on the YouTube. Actually, we're on YouTube right now, so. Again, Bill, I want to respect your time, but thank you so much. I'm just humbled and honored that you had, again, this second interview with us. I really am thankful. Thank you so much. So if there's anything else you want to tell our fellow captains here, or anything of your work, but follow them on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook. Right?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the big 3.
Especially, he loves to share his work on Twitter.
That seems to be the best received is on Twitter for some reason. I don't know why. The people are more friendly there than the other two places.
Oh, really? Man, just delete them, frick.
Yeah.
Just delete them.
if it's on my page and it's nothing but glowing reviews, if I see it stuff posted elsewhere and like, oh,
Yeah, that
I shouldn't have looked at this.
no.
Never read the comments. Never forget.
Never.
Don't read the comments. That's my other thing. Enterprise G, never read the comment.
Never.
Get that T-shirt.
Yeah, you should make that T-shirt and post it on Twitter and as just a big ole screw you to them.
Yeah.
That would be him.
They'll never see it. They're already blocked, so they're not gonna.
All right. Well, Bill, again, thank you so much. Again, I don't want to keep you any longer than I have because I know it's like 1 o'clock your time there. So, thank you again. I hope we can do this again sometime in the future because I would love to talk more ships.
Anytime.
Especially if you have a new ship to show us, I would love to definitely see that. So.
Perfect. Yeah. Maybe when some of these models are finished and I've got some, better photos of them, we can look if you want.
Oh, please.
Or wait till we've got the Klingon ship going. I mean, who knows when that's going to happen? But I'm open to whenever you want to.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. But no, thank you again. I hope you have a great night. And yes, I do look forward. You just message me and we'll do this again, sir.
You know where to find me.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Right. Good night, sir.
Wow. That is... just... Let me just give him a huge thank you here. Wow. I felt like we could keep going for... Just let's go. Yes. Sorry. See, I'm glad that the signs aren't the sounds are not on because you don't want to see this going. But captains, both on YouTube and Twitch, thank you so much for stopping by, and for Commander Farsight, thank you for the follow there on Twitch. I appreciate that. I'm so humbled, and hopefully I'm going to see if we can get some more contacts, possibly, especially the ones that we tried to get before in terms of interviews like this, because I would love to just keep talking about this stuff. His ships, his work has just been awesome, and hopefully good rates. And captains, if you're just joining us, if you missed this, you can still see this on YouTube. It will be there. This will be a VOD. So do us a favor. You're on YouTube, hit that like button, and it will help now the VOD, when it becomes a VOD after this, to be recommended out. So those captains who missed on it can actually see this as well. But I mean, I'm speechless for him, but you can see how happy he is when it came to just talking about his stuff, and it's such a honor, especially with me. For me personally, I love ships, and that's my first love when it comes to that. So just an absolute treat to have just been able to talk to him. But so captains, we're gonna have to call it here. It's been a treat. It's been great. I think what we will do here on YouTube, obviously we'll just I can't do my outro, unfortunately, because we're on YouTube, so that we cannot do. But what we're going to do is pass on the love here, and I'd love to pass on the love to someone that we haven't met before and or in a while. Let's see who's on here. At least on Twitch. Can't do that on YouTube. The way. And earlier, thank you for Grabog. Is it Grabog? Grabog and JB from Pirates Community. Thank you for the raids. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here definitely for the interview here. It was great. And I do see Ashy on, or why did I say Ashy? I didn't mean Ash. Do you have a Discord server? I do. Tell you what, let me put this Discord server on. I'll put the link here to any on both Twitch and on YouTube. That it is where I do all usually my announcements, where we kind of actually do some watch parties. We have another watch party here soon. We're gonna do the Power Rangers because I haven't watched it yet. So let me put this here. If I can get the link, but I'll put that here. So copy YouTube. Let's go to my channel. And we go here. Oh dear Lord. Here, let's do this. There, all you got to do when you land on the Discord, go to the left side, role selection, click on all the icons, and that'll open up for you. Okay, so again, I see Ashley definitely here, so we're going to do that there. How do I do this? Because I'm a noob. I'm a noob. And I won't be streaming tonight for Star Trek Online. So that was our stream for tonight. Tomorrow is Friday. To those who here are on Twitch, I'll be back Saturday. With that, the announcement of our theme stream for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it's going to be a Picard / TNG theme. So anyone's welcome to join. All you got to do is... Oh, CJ, thank you again for the resub there. I appreciate that. Is bring your own ship of either from the TNG or Picard show, or any ship. If you don't have the ship, that's fine. Come join us. We're gonna take some selfies. We're gonna do some pew-pews. That is the whole point of the theme stream, is just to celebrate the theme, which of course, just coming off of Picard, is the whole point. So, captains, again, I thank you so much for you hanging out with us. Again, to Bill, thank you for taking the time to spend with us. And he's 2 hours ahead of us, but you can tell, even though it was late, he still took the time to be here with us. So, captains, again, thank you. I love you all. Take care. Good night. We'll leave it on this note. To those who are on Twitch, we will be raiding Ash, and stand by for that.
Live long and prosper.